Hey, everyone! If you enjoy my quantum audiobooks, you can support me by becoming a Patreon member. Your support helps me keep creating, and you'll get exclusive perks. You can also access my audiobooks directly through Google Drive. Check out the link in the description. Now, let's get started.
It is very easy to sign up for the water Pokémon race because Altamari is a tourist destination, and the number of applicants for this event increases every year. Therefore, many residents here will provide equipment rental, which is perfect for Ash and Misty. Their registration was very smooth and they rented the right equipment. "Go!" Ash shouted, and Mantine shook his wings as if he had telepathy and immediately surpassed everyone and took the lead. After a while in the race, Ash, Misty, and Rossi have confirmed their leading position. If nothing unexpected happens, the top three will be taken by them. Here is a lovely picture of this pair of beasts for everyone to enjoy. "It's you, Lacias," Ash thought to himself. There was also a Latios beside him. The brother and sister followed Ash, and normal people couldn't see them. On this day, all the people living in Altamari were paying attention to the competition. On the bridges at the starting point, it can be said that there were crowds of people and it was impossible to get through. This handsome guy is called Rossi, and he was the champion of last year's Pokémon water race. Although his partner Wailmer is only in the first stage, his body is nearly 2 meters. After evolving into Wailord in the future, his body will only be larger. However, no one noticed that there were two invisible figures soaring in the sky, following them quietly. It's a pity that Ash, who was originally in the lead, got the wrong direction of the track. On the other side, the results of Misty and Rossi have also come out. Corsola's horn is slightly in front, so he won. After hearing Ash's encouragement, Mantine was happy and flapped its wings to express excitement. Lacias and Latios in the sky saw that they were so happy and they also became happy and then disappeared. "Haha, this is exciting." Mantine speed up. However, Lacias's good intentions led to bad results because Lacias was not familiar with the track, which led to Ash's Mantine accidentally pulling Ash out of the track. Lacias and Latios did not understand the situation. There were stairs down the waterway and Lacias and his sister hurriedly stopped. Ash rushed out due to inertia. When he was about to reach the stairs, Ash jumped to the path next to him. "Ash, don't stand there, hurry up and catch up." Misty, who was standing next to him, also rushed up and said to Ash. Obviously, such activities also made her excited. At the starting point, 3 Natu spread their wings. After the last Natu spread its wings, the competition officially began. "Wow, it's incredible!" Ash accelerated again and surpassed at a fierce speed. The commentator also reported the situation on the track in real time. Mantine also understood the meaning of the sentence just now and couldn't help but lower his head in disappointment. He was really a little hit that he didn't win the first cooperation with Ash. Xiaogang stood in front, looking at the figures of Ash and Xiaolu. One feature of the track in Audamare is that it is full of uncertainty because the waterways here are complicated and there are countless more corners. If you accidentally get the wrong direction and walk out of the corner, it will be more trouble than gain. The competition is about to begin. Who will get the glorious Audamare Medal of Excellence? Please wait and see. Ash raised his head and looked in that direction. Lacias, we will meet soon. Now isn't it the best opportunity? Everything is ready except for the competition. Just now, many players were eliminated because they didn't know the direction and let their Pokémon turn the wrong direction. So it is obvious that one of Ash, Misty, and Rossi must be the champion. Misty's partner Pokémon is Corsola, and Ash decided to send Mantine to participate this time. "Ash, you are very fast. Do you want to compete with me?" A handsome guy passed by Ash. His Pokémon was a Wailmer, which was comparable in size to Ash's Mantine but slightly faster than Mantine. Ash patted his head gently. "It doesn't matter, the speed is very fast and the performance is good. The two beasts have been scheduled to join the team. It's really great to be able to ride on the Audamare boat." Ash and his group were invited by Rossi to sit on the boat and their moods were really different. "Okay." Then, Ash and his party listened to Mr. Rossi telling a story from a long time ago. Although it was a legend, Ash firmly believed that it must not be a legend but a true story. "You're welcome. I was really surprised by your performance in the water Pokémon racing competition. It's my honor to have the champion of the racing competition ride on my boat, Mr. Rossi said with a smile while paddling the boat. So this is not an ability, at most it is a trick, but anyone with a careful mind can detect it, not to mention that these two ladies of unknown origin have high technology. It seems that Laisha's is in crisis. This is a sad story. Ash was thinking about whether he could reverse this ending with his current strength. Rossi said to Misty, "Hey, this is the Audiobook winning ribbon, how about it? Do you like it?" Rossi was the champion of the last session, and this champion is really exquisite. But the price was that Laisha's lost 90 his brother. This is a blue transparent ribbon as big as a plate, engraved with the outlines of Laisha's and Laishio's, and there is a gem between the two Pokémon. It looks like the Pokémon version of two dragons playing with a pearl. Rossi was really convinced by the performance of Ash and Misty. Misty's Corsola won the game at the last minute, and Ash's strength was even more unfathomable. If it weren't for the influence of external factors, I'm afraid Ash would have won the first place, because he had already met these two Pokémon. "Ash, look!" Misty saw the statue standing in front of the museum and hurriedly said to Ash. "Pikachu!" Pikachu shouted happily, and now Ash is recalling this part of the plot in his mind. "Forget it now, let's enjoy the time on the boat. Thank you, Mr. Rossi." In the original work, the Laisha's siblings were targeted by two bad guys and forced to open Soul Dew, which led to a great crisis in the city of Odomare. Later, Laishio sacrificed himself to become Soul Dew, which saved this beautiful city. Originally, Pikachu wanted to rinse under this faucet, but the trainer of the previous water Pokémon turned off the faucet, and his own trainer did not come over, so he could not reach it, so he had to droop his ears. Of course, there is an answer. First of all, he has the two great beasts Suicune Reiku in his hand. When he met Lugia and her son before, he was given a tidal bell which can summon them to resolve this crisis. The Master Ball on his neck can also be summoned to help them. The waiting was really boring, so Pikachu had to go to a square. Eevee saw it and gently pulled Ash. Ash naturally noticed this and thought that he might meet Laish's transformed Stephanie at this time, so he followed. "Where did you buy this dress, Laish's?" The part in front of the cathedral is the museum that Ash and his friends saw on the ship. There are also two stone pillars of infinite Pokémon, which looks quite spectacular. Ash looked at the device and he naturally knew that this device was the device to open Soul Dew, but he couldn't say it because once he said it, he would definitely be noticed. "Sun Pokémon, Ariados," the two girls exclaimed. They didn't expect that this boy who suddenly appeared would defeat their Pokémon in just one encounter. "Kid, who are you? We are just checking her taste. It's a bit too rude to hit her right away." "Really?" Ash sneered. "To check her taste, you have to let your Pokémon block her way. Besides, my courtesy to girls is limited to Stephanie, who I care about. Also, don't think I know nothing about you. You are the international thieves, Sana and Lion, the first in the thief world. It seems that you have some means." Hearing that this kid actually said his true identity, they were a little panicked. "Kid, who are you? I advise you not to pay attention to Soul Dew. I may not be able to control you if you steal jewelry, but once you do something that hurts Pokémon, I'm sorry, I have to control you." When Laisha saw the two girls in front of her reveal their identities, she turned around and ran away immediately. "Don't ask. If you ask, she is not good at fighting. Ash, the crepes are getting cold, come here quickly." Misty saw Ash and called him over. After Ash left for more than a minute, their crepes were ready because Misty and Zyoging also noticed that Pikachu had left, so they could imagine that Ash must have gone to find Pikachu. "Please give me flowers. This Tower of the Sun and this museum were carefully made by ancient people to thank Laisha's and Laishio's for protecting this city," Ben Gray introduced. "This device should also be built for peace. Although I don't know the specific usage, after several repairs, this device can still be intact here and it must be useful." Little did they know that what happened later made them feel regretful. So let's wait and see. Facing emergencies, he has plenty of ability to solve them. This cathedral is solemn and majestic. After hundreds of years of renovation, it looks even more contest. It can also be seen how much people here respect it. You haven't done anything bad, why are you running away? However, what even Ash didn't notice was that there was a small robot staring at them on the cathedral. After eating, they were going to visit the cathedral. "Yes, the marble here is very special and you can see a lot of fossils. Just then, a kind-looking old man with a white beard came over and said, "Next, please visit this side." After passing through the museum, Ben Gray took Ash and the others to the Tower of the Sun. The two girls came to the little Stephanie transformed by Laisha's and asked jokingly. It was also caught by Ariados's spider web, but its expression was not so panicked. Although the two young ladies were a little timid, they still sneered at each other. Soon, its front road was blocked by Ariados and its back road was blocked by the Sun Pokémon. Laisha's had already sensed Ash's arrival, so after the restraints on her body were released, she was not nervous or surprised at all but came directly behind Ash. They also released two Pokémon, the Sun Pokémon and Ariados. Obviously, the target was Laisha's in front of them. When Mr. Ben Gray introduced this place, Ash looked up and saw a girl appear there. That was the image of the girl that Laisha's had transformed into before, but it was a bit strange that Bo Dao told him that this was clearly a real human girl. In other words, there must be some connection between this real girl and Laisha's, otherwise, Laisha's would not have transformed into her own appearance. In order to investigate the truth of the matter, Ash decided to follow her in person and maybe find something. Noticing that the girl was about to leave, Ash said to Misty Zyoaging, "Misty Zyoaging, I have something else to do, you guys go back to Pokémon Center first." "Ash, where are you going?" Misty, who was always worried about 347 Ash, asked. "I have some private matters to do, don't worry, I will be back soon." Ash smiled at her and ran in the direction where the girl disappeared. Zyoaging came to Misty and said, "Since Ash asked us to go back first, let's go back and wait for his news. After all, Ash's growth rate is far beyond our expectations. He is also becoming reliable, isn't he?" "That's right, he should have his own ideas, we should just support him silently behind the scenes," Misty nodded. Ash followed the girl to a corner and found that the girl disappeared on the spot like a living person, and he met Laisha's. After seeing Ash, Laisha's waved to him and ran away. Ash naturally knew what it meant, so he followed Laisha's with Pikachu and Eevee. Following the direction of Laisha's, Ash and Pikachu went around left and right, and after countless turns they finally came to a wall. Laisha's went straight through and disappeared. Ash came up and touched the wall with his hand and found that the wall was still the ordinary wall, no different from the normal wall. Of course, this is only for ordinary people, but is Ash an ordinary person? Obviously not. Because, when touching the wall, Ash had already injected Waveguide to explore, and sure enough, there was a completely different world in the store on the wall. Moreover, the back should be similar to a secret base or a mysterious garden. Then, Ash followed in without hesitation. If Oudemare is a prosperous tourist city, then the place where Ash is now is like a paradise that is not disturbed by outsiders. It is quiet and peaceful here. The sun shines in from the trees, accompanied by a slight breeze, making people feel comfortable. There is a swing hanging on the big tree by the pond, and Laisha's is sitting there. When Ash and Pikachu were about to go over, suddenly Ash clearly felt a stronger Waveguide coming towards them. "Is he considered an intruder?" Ash muttered, "if that's the case." "Pikachu!" Ash gave the order and Pikachu jumped directly from Ash's shoulder, accompanied by a strong thunderbolt. However, Latios easily avoided this electric current. "Let's have a sparring match, Pikachu, quick attack." Ash stopped talking after giving the order. With Pikachu's current strength, he can fight even without his command. Latios saw her brother fighting with Ash and quickly jumped down from the swing. Just as she was about to stop the fight, Ash raised his hand to stop her. "Don't be interrupted during the fight." Pikachu's speed increased in an instant, and he caught up with Latios. He hit him with an iron tail and Latios appeared in front of Ash. He looked the same as Latios, but his body lines were more masculine and his lower body was still blue. Latios, Infinite Pokémon. Attribute: Dragon Psychic. Ability: Floating. Qualification: Deep Red. Learned moves: Dragon Dance, Confusion, Dragon Breath, Zen Headbutt, Dragon Pulse, Mental Twist, Dream Transfer. Learnable moves: Dragon Star Cluster, Luster Purge, Psycho Shift, Safeguard. Evaluation: an infinite Pokémon that has existed for hundreds of years. Pokémon and his sister Latias have been guarding this place. The ending of the original book is really tragic. I hope the host can change all this. After reading the information, Ash became more determined to save the brother and sister. At this moment, Latios was about to attack Ash. Ash asked Eevee, who was ready to retreat, and came to Latios. "We have met before. I am not an intruder." At this time, Latios realized that this was the boy who participated in the water Pokémon race, and he stopped attacking. "Who are you and how did you get here?" the girl who appeared beside them asked. "I am Ash from Pallet Town. As for how I followed," Ash touched his nose. "Let's ask Latios. After all, her success in 5.1 made me lose the chance to win the championship." After hearing Ash's words, Latios lowered his head in embarrassment. "There is no way. Who made me do bad things with good intentions? My name is Canon. It seems that you are not an intruder." Ash smiled, of course. Then he looked at Latios. "We seem to be compatible. It can be seen that Latios likes you very much. Then you can play for the children." In this way, Latios pulled Ash to the swing and played, spending a very happy time. Little did they know that a huge crisis was waiting for them. This afternoon was very happy for Ash and Latios. Moreover, Latios and Latios' special skill, dream projection, can share what they see with Ash, just like when Latios travels through the water. Ash can also see the world in the water. This feeling is as exciting as riding a roller coaster. And now, in the central pool of the mysterious space, Ash saw Soul Dew. That's Soul Dew! On the stone slabs around it, there are also records of how to use the power of Soul Dew. Old man Ben Gray couldn't understand it, but Ash had the system and had understood all the words on the stone slabs. However, he didn't say it because he didn't care about this song, wanted Latios and Latios to be fine. Of course, if he met someone with bad intentions, Ash wouldn't mind teaching them a lesson. Our ancestors created a device to use Latios to draw out the mysterious power hidden in Soul Dew and to protect this island. That device should be the one that 24 saw in the cathedral. Suddenly, Ben Gray looked at Ash seriously. "Ash, I believe you. You will keep everything about this place secret, right?" "Yes, I promise." Ash nodded solemnly. Until it got dark, Ash and Pikachu were about to leave here. Before leaving, Ash gave Latios a light ball. "Latios, take this. If you encounter danger, crush it immediately. I will come to help you." 11 Latios took it and nodded. "Miss Cannon, when I met Latios before, I met two people who were chasing them. As expected, their target is Soul Dew. These few nights, you should be more alert, and if anything happens, you can come to me as soon as possible." After hearing Ash's instructions, Cannon nodded. After returning to the Pokémon Center, Ash called Professor Oak. "Professor Oak." "Oh, it's Ash. I heard you guys are in Altamare." "Well, Professor, I have something very important to tell you." Seeing Ash's serious expression, Professor Oak also put away his smile. "Go ahead. I want you to exchange these Pokémon for me." Just when Ash was exchanging his lineup, the two female thieves that Ash met during the day followed him to find the way to this mysterious space. That night, they took advantage of the night to invade. At this moment, Latios thought of the light ball that Ash gave her, so she took it out. At this time, the two sisters were about to throw the capture net at Latios again, and Latios took the opportunity to spit the light ball at the capture net. At the same time, Ash also felt the light ball he gave to Latios explode. He saw everything. Sure enough, things were going in the worst direction. "This place is really beautiful." Seeing such a paradise, they couldn't help but praise. "Why not set up our villa here too?" After seeing this, Latios dragged his body to block the next attack of the Sun Pokémon for his sister. "This must be a bluff." The two sisters didn't believe it at all. "Latios, tell me what happened. They are my companions, you can rest assured." Latios was hit directly by Swift and couldn't dodge. While Latios was unable to move, the two sisters threw a capture net at it and there was an electric current on the net. Latios screamed in pain. At the same time, Pikachu also sensed Latios' arrival and brought it to Ash. Seeing that the Pokémon Center was also going to be closed, Ash took Pikachu and Latios and jumped into the water. First song left Zioaging and the other two trapped in the room of the Pokémon Center. Latios was also hit by the illusion light of the Sun Pokémon and fell to the ground. Ash, Bingley and Cannon were also tied up tightly by Ariados' spider web and could not move. Those with evil intentions will be polluted in their hearts and lose water drops when using Soul Dew and lose the island together with it. Latios also discovered the invaders at the first time and attacked them, but after all, it didn't have the command of the trainer, and although the two female thieves were not professional Pokémon trainers, they had high technology. Thinking of this, Ash immediately put on his clothes and took the exchanged Pokémon ball with him. Ariado's Night Curse. The two sisters did not chase him, one because they could not catch him and the other because they already had a Latios and it was enough to activate the Soul Dew device. Through the investigation of the cracking of the stone tablet, they actually cracked the method of using the device. Sun Pokémon Swift. Latias, don't be afraid, I'm here, I will rescue your brother. Ash turned on the light and Misty Zyoging also woke up. It was obvious that they had lost their minds due to the power. When Latios saw that his sister was about to be hit, he jumped out and blocked the attack. Latias nodded and then her eyes flashed white light and the scene of the temple appeared in front of everyone. To be continued. Don't forget what we came here for. Boom, the light ball exploded and emitted a strong white light. The two sisters also covered their eyes. When they opened their eyes again, Latias had also escaped. As soon as Latias saw Ash, she immediately got into his arms, trembling all over. Now, only Ash could let her rely on him. At this moment, Latias interrupted the attack of the Sun Pokémon, but then her figure appeared in front of the two sisters. Then, the silver-haired girl named Lion fiddled with it for a few times and Kabuto and Kabutops in the museum were resurrected. Latias saw that his brother blocked the attack for him again and couldn't help but scream. It's bad, we have to stop this as soon as possible. The two thief sisters were seen fiddling with the device in the temple. Latios was trapped in the ring device of the machine and Soul Dew was also installed on it. This is Latias, they were stunned. Misty Zyoging, I'll go to the cathedral to rescue everyone and I'll leave the rest to you. After they evaded Latios' attack very nimbly, they captured the figures of Latios and Latias through their things. Because he had considered the worst-case scenario, he had already exchanged all the strongest Pokémon he currently had when he called Professor Oak. After diving into the water with Latias, Ash released the first Pokémon ball, which was an Ultra Ball. It's decided to be you, Suicune. After Suicune came out, Ash turned over and wrote on it, please go to the cathedral. Suicune is the incarnation of the North Wind. It is agile and can walk on water as if walking on flat ground. In the environment of the Water City, it is very easy for Suicune. Ash, do you have a way to help Mano, Latios? At this time, Ash also successfully broke into the cathedral and saw Latios wrapped in current and in pain. Lion saw Suicune and greedy eyes appeared in her eyes, all mine. To be continued. Although they were wanted as international thieves, they only stole some jewelry which was out of Ash's control. Now, in order to get the power of Soul Dew, they actually made such a big fuss. Then, Ash stretched out his right hand, shua shua, two light blades cut through the spider web on Ben Gray and Canon, and Misty Zyoging also rushed over. Latios opened his eyes, saw everything in front of him, and after looking at Latias, he was ready to fly to the top of the tower to stop the demon and protect the island. Let me try this thing even if it's a divine beast, so what? Lion looked at the operating device in front of her and then operated it. Everyone, dismantle this device together. Without Soul Dew, the entire Odomare seemed to have lost its life. The seawater in the canal flowed back, revealing the original seabed, and the entire island was about to sink into the sea. Damn, how could this happen? What did that kid do? Lion was hurt by the current and said with gritted teeth. Mutewo just floated in front of the huge wave with purple light flashing in his eyes. The next second, the huge wave retreated by itself, and then Mutewo raised his hands again and a strong wave smashed the huge wave to pieces. The two thief sisters soon discovered Ash and Latias, so they sent Aerodactyl and Kabutops to stop them. Ash could not forgive them for this, but at this moment Soul Dew actually broke. I saw a huge wave rising from the sea and he hit it. This blow was not trivial. Not only Lion herself but also the operating device was greatly affected. For details, just look at the silver-white current. Latias was rescued and Ash quickly stretched out his left hand and released a healing light on him. Under the attacks of Raikou, Pikachu, Latias, and a violent punch from Bangira, the device was dismantled. After all, they had an unshirkable responsibility for the Latios incident. No, it's important to save Latios now. Ash didn't have time to fight with Aerodactyl, so he took out another Pokémon ball. It's decided to be you, Zapdos. In the flying team, Ash didn't exchange Charizard, mainly because the combat environment here is not conducive to Charizard's combat, plus the factor of Aerodactyl. He teleported Zapdos here. In addition, there are Pidgeot, Noctowl and Murkrow at Professor Oak's place. I heard that one of Murkrow's strength has improved significantly. Otherwise, I'll give it a chance to evolve into Honchkrow. This is all later. In short, with Zapdos helping to hold back Aerodactyl and Kabutops, Ash's pressure is much less. What? This kid actually has Zapdos? Who is he? After sending out 2 legendary beasts in a row, Lion had to focus on him. I remember that he seemed to have said that he was the Pokémon investigator appointed by the Alliance. The blonde elder sister Sana thought about it. Unlike her younger sister, she had not been completely blinded by the power and retained a trace of smelling salts. It was this trace of smelling salts that made her feel that she seemed to have caused trouble. If someone with bad intentions uses Soul Dew, it will cause irreversible disasters. Don't do stupid things. Since the 2 sisters turned on the device, Old Man Ben Gray has been persuading them, but they never took it seriously. Lion said disdainfully, "Threats are useless to me. As long as I have this power, the whole world is mine." The legendary monster showed its true form, and the raging tsunami seemed to swallow up the entire island. However, Suicune reacted quickly and hit it back with a hydro pump. I can only temporarily relieve his injuries now. If I want to save him completely, I need Soul Dew. In the next chapter, the god of the sea came to the rescue, and Ash's team of divine beasts added 2 more generals. Ash just came to the middle of the 2 stone pillars and suddenly a sense of crisis emerged in his heart. Laishes, get up. Ash took off the Master Ball from his neck without hesitation. Buddy, please. Don't be afraid, I will rescue you immediately. Seeing this, Ash took out another Pokémon Ball. It's decided to be you, Reiku. As for the 2 sisters, Ash decided that if he had to, he wouldn't mind destroying them once. Because their behavior this time was really a bit too much. The resurrected Aerodactyl quickly flew over Ash's head and then hit Laishes with 1 claw. Sana looked at her sister in front of her and for a moment she didn't recognize her. Tilda roar! After Reiku appeared, he bit the ring but it didn't bite it open. It could withstand the attack of the mythical beast. Ash frowned and then took out a Pokémon Ball. Banjira, it's up to you. Come back, it's not over yet. Boom! According to legend, when the monster attacked again, Latios and Laishes flew to the sky and brought their companions, who brought a treasure that could drive away the evil force, which was Soul Dew. Thus, the crisis on the island was resolved and peace was restored. Now, Soul Dew was destroyed under the influence of the sisters, and the monster that devoured the island in the legend reappeared again. Compared with the previous one, Laishes is still young among the siblings. Latios was also seriously injured. If he responded in this way, Latios would definitely not come back. Ash certainly didn't want the tragedy to happen again. He jumped up and came to the top of the Tower of the Sun, shouting loudly, "Come back." Looking at the tsunami that was sweeping in, Ash used the power of Waveguide, then stretched out his arms with a sharp gaze, stretched forward, and 2 ripples appeared in his right hand out of thin air, which actually stopped the tsunami. Seeing this, Ash used his power again, and after his arms made a big circle in front of him, he lifted the waves up and slowly retreated. Mutwo also came to his side and used confusion to help. That action just now took a lot of energy. Not bad, I can hold on. The blue light shone again with his peripheral vision towards the backpack, and the brightness was much brighter than before. There was also the crisp sound of bells mixed with the sound of waves, which was the unique sound of Tidal Bell. Ash stretched out his left hand, and Tidal Bell came out of the backpack and into Ash's hand, and then stretched his left hand forward, and in a little while there would be 540 people, not Pokémon, coming over. So beautiful? Misty listened to this sound, and for a water-type Pokémon trainer, this sound was undoubtedly the most beautiful. Ash had a smile on his face, and the Laisha's siblings' expressions also eased. In case of shipwreck, call the sea god for help. Roar! Unexpectedly, at this moment, a roaring sound suddenly came from the dark clouds of soaring in the sky, and the silver-white figure rolled in the clouds, and the speed was very fast. The entire tsunami was about to swallow up the water city. Woo! Laishes and Latios looked up to the sky and roared. Even if the sea god Lugia came, they would fight once. The weak Latios looked at Ash, and soon its eyes became determined. It took Leisha's and turned into a ball of light and rushed into the tsunami. Luja, in this situation, he could only hope that Luja would come faster. In the gap between the rolling thunderclouds, Luja finally came. After she felt Ash's call, she dived towards the ball of light that the brother and sister had turned into. Roar! The power of the sea god burst out, and together with Luja it turned into a ball of light. The two balls of light rushed into the tsunami one after another and finally suppressed the tsunami. The seawater flowed back to the city, and Kabutops and the fossilized pterosaur also turned into light spots and returned to the marble of the cathedral and became fossils. The device also stopped. Although it seemed that all this was over, it was not over for Ash or Leisha's. It is detected that there is Leisha's in front of the host and it is testing. And now he had to do his best to stop this tsunami. When he opened his eyes, he was ready to realize that no matter how Ash tried to stop him, he couldn't stop it. When the mist ball hit the air, it suddenly exploded, and then behind the dispersing dark clouds, it seemed that some incredible passage was opened, and many illusory figures appeared again. Suddenly, Leisha's looked at his brother as if he had thought of something and flew over to look at his brother's body with sadness and sorrow in his eyes. At the same time, the Mega Evolution Stone that he had obtained a long time ago suddenly reacted. Ash subconsciously reached into his pocket and took out a Mega Evolution Stone. In this way, the infinite Pokémon once again created a legend. Leisha's was already seriously injured and the device just now was too extreme. Not only did it consume most of Soul Dew's energy, but it also put a great burden on Leisha's himself. Leisha's Mega Evolution Stone Special. When the host and Leisha's have established enough friendship and bond, Mega Evolution can be performed without the capture of the Pokémon Ball. And those figures were Leisha's and Leisha's. Perhaps sensing the changes in the Water City, the infinite Pokémon rushed over quickly. Leisha's nodded and took the Mega Evolution Stone in his hand. At this moment, the three people and one Pokémon established a magical connection. To make up for it, this way I conquered the brothers and sisters of Water City. Are you satisfied? Soon, many Leisha's and Leisha's surrounded Ash and Luja. The incident in the Water City is finally over and Luja and her son will also say goodbye to Ash. Luja shook his head and looked at Ash and Leisha's. After Mega Evolution, although Leisha's has not changed much in appearance, if you look closely, you will find that Mega Leisha's has become smaller, the pattern on the abdomen has moved to the arms and the arm part has also become larger. According to the legend, the infinite Pokémon from the Incredible Passage will send new Soul Dew to protect this island after the disaster. With their help, Leisha's also recovered. I hope the legend is true, Leisha's Miss Ball. Ash looked at Silver, who was reluctant to leave him, and said with a smile, "The next time we meet will be when you grow up. Please give me more advice then." Although Leisha's survived, his injuries were not so easy to recover from. "Leisha's, why don't you come with me? I will send you to the professor where you will recover faster," Ash said to him, "and you don't have to be separated from your sister too far, right, Leisha's?" Leisha's nodded, then looked at his brother. Leisha's looked at him and finally nodded. Ash took out a heal ball. "Don't ask, it's exchanged in the mall. You will have a good rest in it, don't worry." Leisha's stretched out his hand and clapped and entered the heal ball. After conquering Leisha's, Ash looked at Leisha's. "Do you want to travel together? After all, there is your successor here." Ash's eyes looked at the newly arrived brother and sister. Leisha's nodded happily and then his body transformed into the appearance of Cannon and came to Ash's side. "Professor, I've already told you that Leisha's is traveling with me now, so you can't study him. Besides, Leisha's is given to you, so you just need to take good care of him," Ash said helplessly. It turned out that before leaving the Water City, Ash deliberately sent Leisha's Pokémon Ball to Professor Oak. As a result, Professor Oak immediately became upset after seeing Leisha's. After repeated questioning, Ash let Professor Oak see another Leisha's, which was the cannon that he transformed into next to him. Later, Professor Oak asked for Leisha's, so there was the paragraph at the beginning of the article. "Okay, Leisha's, I will help you take good care of it. I didn't expect that you, Ash, could grow to this extent." Seeing that it didn't make sense, Professor Oak didn't force it. Instead, he couldn't help but sigh that Ash was able to subdue the brother and sister. It's okay." Then, after talking to Professor Oak on the phone, Ash and his group set out on the journey back to New Bark Town again. That day they came to a beach. Pokémon synchronized water ballet show. Ash and his group suddenly saw a large poster and Misty read out the content on it. Pokémon synchronized water ballet show. Hearing this name, Xiaogang instantly lost his composure. There must be many beautiful big sisters in swimsuits performing with Pokémon in the water. Ash nodded slightly when he heard this, but in fact, he just didn't want to overly undermine Xiaogang's confidence. If he remembered correctly, this is an informal gym not certified by Alliance, Ryugu Gym, and the owner here, Dorian, is a man. Let's not talk about it first. His fate, or he admires the 3 cerulean sisters of the Cerulean Gym. That's right, Misty was excluded again. In the original book, Misty originally wanted to have a 3v3 duel with him, but was interrupted by the Rocket Trio who didn't know how powerful they were, which was also a place that made Ash quite regretful. Another regrettable thing is that Ash also had a duel with him but ended up losing. At that time, Ash was using Totodile but was beaten by the opponent's Lantern with a set of Supersonic Plus takedown. It's conceivable that he was defeated. I must go to see this. Xiaogang took the lead and ran towards the place. Ash, don't you want to go over? Misty asked Ash, who was calm. This kind of thing reminds me of a saying, the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Ash followed. I always feel that things won't be that simple. Soon, they came to a performance venue that was more like a contest, but it seemed that the performance hadn't started yet. Or it would be more appropriate to say that there were no people watching here at all. Pokémon synchronized water ballet show, it feels a bit like your Cerulean Gym, Misty. Ash turned his head and looked at Misty and said, as we all know, Misty's 3 sisters are good at performing water ballet, but Misty is determined to become a water Pokémon master, so she came out to train. As for the gym, it was left to her 3 sisters. To a certain extent, Misty's 3 sisters still support Misty's dream, otherwise they would not serve as gym trainers. Just as Xiaogang was looking forward to it, Lantern, Q-Willfish and Mantine began to perform one after another. That's right, the next one is the sexy big sister in a swimsuit. Xiaogang's expression made even Ash unable to bear it. However, as Ash said, the greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. What appeared next in the water was a pair of men's legs. Sure enough, as Ash expected, the performer of this water ballet was a man. Since there were indeed not many people watching here after the performance, the performer found Ash and his group. What do you think of my show? Not bad, there was no mistake in partnering with Pokémon. Ash didn't know much about this aspect, so he objectively evaluated the tacit understanding between the performer and Pokémon. Excuse me, have you always performed alone? Misty saw the shadows of her 3 sisters through the performance just now. Yes, I'm also a gym trainer. Please give me flowers. To be honest, this is actually the Ryugu Gym, and I am the gym trainer here, Dorian. How about I take you on a tour? Then, at Dorian's kind invitation, Ash and his friends came to the bottom of the sea. Unexpectedly, the real Ryugu Gym was built on the bottom of the sea. As for what they saw, it was just a ballet performance on the water. During the visit, Ash and his friends also noticed the group photo of the 3 Cerulean sisters and Dorian. Seeing that they were very familiar with the Cerulean Gym, Dorian asked, do you know a lot about the Cerulean Gym? Well, actually, this Stephanie next to me, she is the youngest sister of the 3 Cerulean sisters. By the way, why are you so familiar with them? Because that is the gym I long for, Dorian replied with a smile. I like water Pokémon very much. My wish is that one day my Ryugu Gym can be like the Cerulean Gym. So he would imitate the 3 Cerulean sisters and perform a water ballet show. It happened that they did a good job, but Xiaogang was disappointed. But my gym can only be a private gym, Dorian also admitted this generously. The biggest difference between private gyms and public ones is that even if there is a badge, it will not be recognized by the Alliance. The only value is that it can be collected. As a mermaid among the Cerulean sisters, it has always been my dream to fight in the water. Misty suddenly came out and said, how about a duel with me? Dorian nodded. Okay, it's a good opportunity for me to see Miss Misty's strength. Before that, can I have a duel with you first? Ash saw this rare battle venue and felt a little itchy, so he couldn't help but challenge. It was just right for his newly conquered Dratini to experience the battle. Of course, no problem. Misty also nodded. She knew that Ash was giving Dratini a chance to fight and she understood it very well. And so, a different battle was about to begin. Although the Ryugu Gym is a private gym, the gym owner here, Dorian, is an underwater ballet performer who takes the Cerulean sisters as his role model. Moreover, his Ryugu Gym is set up underwater. According to him, water Pokémon can only show their true strength in the water. Such a venue does not exist even in the Cerulean Gym. For Misty, who wants to become a water Pokémon master, this is undoubtedly the place she longs for the most. I have long wanted to have a Pokémon battle in such a place. At this moment, Ash suddenly came out and said, "Before that, can you have a battle with me first, one-on-one?" "No problem, Xiaolu." Seeing this scene, Ash couldn't help but feel a little itchy. Although he didn't have a water Pokémon in his hand now, he had Dratini. Dratini can also come and go freely in the water and is very familiar with this 167 place. After all, if you want to cultivate your own quasi-god, it is better to laser focus yourself through battle. And of course, Dorian would not refuse the invitation to battle. Using the dive equipment in the gym that can be used for underwater conversations, Ash and his party all came to the bottom of the sea. "Doesn't this girl need dive equipment?" Dorian looked at Laisha's, who had transformed into a human form and couldn't help but ask with concern. Ash smiled, "Haha, no need." Seeing that Laisha's really seemed to be fine, Dorian didn't ask any more questions. Some things belong to other people's privacy. Asking more questions would only cause resentment and it would not be worth it. Now, Dorian, the gym leader of the Dragon Palace, and Ash from Pallet Town will start a 1v1 duel in the water. Because there is no special referee here, Zaya Ageng temporarily became the referee. "Okay, Lantern, you go." The Pokémon Dorian sent out was Lantern, which is the evolution of Chinchu. "You will pay a price for underestimating me. It's decided to be you, Dratini." Ash performed the newly captured Dratini without hesitation. "What, you actually have Dratini?" This time it was Dorian's turn to be surprised. It seemed a bit bullying to take out Dratini in the underwater battle. "I just captured it. I just let it out to practice." After Ash finished speaking, he immediately changed his tone. "Dratini, use takedown. Because Dratini has not mastered too many special attack skills, we have no choice but to let it use close physical skills right away." "Lantern, use supersonic." Lantern emitted special sound waves from his head, apparently trying to disrupt Dratini's actions. "Extreme speed dodge." Just when Supersonic was about to hit Dratini, Dratini flashed and the attack missed. Lantern couldn't find Dratini for a while. Dorian didn't expect Ash's Dratini to have the skill of extreme speed, so he said, "Lantern, use discharge around." The discharge skill is quite practical. It uses the dazzling thunder shock to paralyze the surrounding Pokémon, so that even if the opponent wants to sneak attack, it will easily fall into paralysis contest condition. In this case, use Twister. Dratini Rapid Spin formed a very powerful twister, and then used the twister to quickly approach Lantern and avoided falling into the paralysis contest condition. Lantern was caught off guard, and even if he wanted to escape, there was no place to escape because he was already sucked in and couldn't get out. Lantern, use Flail Attack. This is a skill that is used when there is no other way. If no measures are taken, he will be defeated sooner or later. However, Lantern really broke through the restraints and came towards Dratini. Extreme Speed Dodge. Dratini easily dodged such an attack. Extreme Speed, sometimes it is so unsolvable. The Last Blow, Blizzard. As one of the few special attack skills, this move instantly froze Lantern into an ice cube. Lantern loses the ability to fight, Dratini wins. Zaya Ageng announced the final result. As for Team Rocket, who was originally going to make trouble, they were severely punished after being discovered by Ash. The strengthened Electro Ball quickly repelled the Pin Missile and hit Q-Willfish with undiminished power. Q-Willfish was electrocuted and lost its ability to fight. Q-Willfish, use Pin Missile again. When launching the Pin Missile, Misty's Chinchu had already completed a charge, but it was enough. "Then, I will send it out as the second one." After Dorian took back Q-Willfish, the second Pokémon he sent out was Mantine. "So you have a Chinchu, then I will ask for your advice." As a Pokémon of both water and electric types, Xiaolu has learned practical electric skills under Ash's coaching. Oh, I didn't expect Dratini's fighting ability to be so strong. Ash, you are really a hidden talent. Dorian couldn't help but sigh after taking Lantern back. Dorian nodded, then you can stay at the gym tonight. Come back, Lantern. Misty took back the newly evolved Lantern. It's your turn, Starmie. To be continued. In this way, Qwilfish kept rushing towards Chinchu and Chinchu kept dodging but couldn't find a suitable opportunity to counterattack. Use continuous tackle. In the next chapter, Lapras returns Larvitar in the egg. Then I will send it go Chinchu. Chinchu, use charge. After a short recovery, Corsola can continue to attack, and finally the ultimate spike cannon makes Lantern lose its combat ability. After winning 3 battles, Misty also won Dorian's recognition, of course in terms of strength. Qwilfish, pin missile. Chinchu, use supersonic. Great! Misty cheered, and Chinchu also took this opportunity to evolve into Lantern, and its strength was raised to a higher level. Supersonic and Pin Missile collided with each other, causing a small explosion and a brief blindness. Send you first, Qwilfish. Use Electro Ball. Qwilfish lost its ability to fight Chinchu 1. Facing the huge Mantine, the small and fast Starmie obviously couldn't fight hard, so in the 4.9 battle, Misty used the water battle skills she learned in Ninja Academy to fight Mantine back and forth. In this game, Misty used Corsola's rock type to successfully contain Lantern's spark attack. Although the water type caused additional damage, don't forget that Corsola also has the skill recover. The last game, Corsolav was exhausted. Finally, after disrupting Mantine's actions with Psywave, Starmie's continuous swift exhausted Mantine to death. Chinchu, use water gun. Chinchu, agility dodge. After taking Dratini back, Ash replied, "It's not bad to let it experience more fighting. By the way, your battle with Misty should be left for tomorrow. Lantern also needs to rest." After dodging use tackle, Qwilfish dodged the water gun and rushed towards Chinchu. The next day, it was Misty and Dorian's turn to fight. The referee was still Zyoging. After seeing this Pokémon, Ash understood that Dorian only had these 3 Pokémon. No wonder there were not many Pokémon during the performance. Divide the line. What? Professor Elm left a message for me. After saying goodbye to Dorian, Ash and his friends continued to head towards the Pokémon Center. Nurse Joy there told Ash and his friends that Professor Elm had left a message, which led to the sentence at the beginning. Taking advantage of the Pokémon's break, Ash and his friends called Professor Elm back. After seeing Professor Elm, Ash was the first to greet him and said, "Professor Elm, hello." "Hello, Ash, you look pretty good in contest condition." "Well, it's all thanks to the professor." "But Professor Elm, how did you know we would pass by here?" Misty asked in confusion. After all, they had replanned their route, so it was not easy to find them. Professor Elm smiled. "I received a call from Professor Oak. Are you on your way back to New Bark Town? I left 24 messages to the surrounding Pokémon centers. I didn't expect your place is quite remote. This is quite common. Alliance sets up Pokémon centers in various places to support trainers at any time. Professor, what do you want to see us for? It's like this. I want to invite you to go to the Pokémon Ocean Laboratory. It happens to be not far from the Pokémon Center where you are," Professor Elm said with a smile. Now Ash and his group are traveling by the sea and the Ocean Laboratory is on their route. "I want you to help me get a Pokémon egg." Pokémon eggs, Misty Zyoging already had an impression of Pokémon eggs. After all, Ash's Phanpy was hatched from a Pokémon egg. Ash frowned slightly. According to the plot, the Pokémon egg was stolen from the MT Silver Reserve by poachers. The egg contained a Larvitar, a powerful Pokémon that established a friendly relationship with Ash in the original book. Why powerful? Who let its final evolution be Bangira? According to the original book, the relationship between the two developed to the point that as long as Ash gave an order, Larvitar could be subdued. But unfortunately, Ash put it back to the MT Silver Reserve. Ash nodded. "Yes, no wonder you know us. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Cheng Mei, and I am the director of the Pokémon Ocean Laboratory. Although I am the only 683 in the laboratory, I am also the only member." "Woohoo, I'm back. Hello, we are Professor Elm commissioned me to come here. As a result, when I came in, I didn't see anyone. This singing, Ash suddenly moved, ran to the beach quickly, his hands were like trumpets, and shouted, "Hey Lapras, is that you? Migration route, is this lady specialized in studying them?" Ash asked curiously after hearing her words. "Excuse me, you are from the laboratory, my name is—" Then, Lantern was seen floating to the surface with a group of Lapras. One of the Lapras was particularly excited to see Ash and immediately rushed up to kiss Ash with his head. "Please move aside." At the same time, a burst of Pokémon singing came from the instrument. For some reason, Ash's heart was slightly moved, as if he had seen someone important, and he was very uneasy. At this moment, a Lapras in the same group that was about the same size as Ash's Lapras suddenly stood up and nodded to Ash's Lapras. Ash's Lapras also nodded, and the meaning of his eyes was obvious. As a result, before Zio-Gang finished introducing himself, the lady raised her left index finger to silence him. "Be quiet, you can hear their voices soon." Orange Islands. Now there is another clue to a new migration route. At that time, this Lapras was still very weak. After being caught by poachers, it was abused. Under Ash's careful care and concern, Lapras decided to follow Ash and performed well in the Battle of the Orange Islands. Later, because of the poachers hunting the Lapras group again, it was Ash's Lapras and Ash's help that brought the poaching gang to justice. Ash shook his head helplessly and took Misty to follow Ziogang. Miss Cheng Mei is committed to this research because she wants to solve this problem as soon as possible. Later, she can analyze part of it through supersonic. To be continued. Lantern, they're coming over, use supersonic. It looks like they are going to use supersonic to detect something. After their Pokémon recovered their spirits, they hurried to the ocean laboratory mentioned by Professor Elm. There was a submarine docked at the small pier on the coast below the laboratory. The young lady ran over here quickly, and there was a Lantern waiting for her. Later, after what Miss Cheng Mei said, they learned that Lapras migration is the most important part of Pokémon oceanography. Lapras growl contains many meanings. They communicate with each other through singing and pass the information of water temperature and ocean currents to their companions in the distance. This method is faster and more accurate than radar. But for Ash, communication is not a problem. After all, who can let him have the power of waveguide? "You should be the ones," Professor Elm said, "who came to get Pokémon eggs." Just when everyone thought there was no one, a young lady rushed out in a hurry. Just like that, another general of Ash Lapras officially returned to the team. "Lapras, are you willing to return to the team? Let's fight side by side again." When the Lapras group was leaving, Ash invited his Lapras to return to the team. Although he already has a Bangira, the more of this kind of thing, the better. Obviously, this was the Lapras that Ash met in the Orange Islands. Before everyone could react, this beautiful young lady rushed out. "Wow, what a beautiful big sister. Can you tell me your name?" Xiaogang's old problem came back, so he followed her out. "This is the Lapras that traveled with us in the Orange Islands." Misty Xiaogang recognized this Lapras. It was at that time that Lapras separated from Ash in order to protect its group, and Ash agreed to let it return to the group to continue to protect its kind. The above is the story of Ash and Larvitar, but now, Ash, who traveled through time, would definitely not miss it. Their voices? After Lapras returned to the team, Ash did not keep it with him. The reason was simple. There was no waterway on the way back to New Barktown, so Lapras was naturally useless. Let's stick to the original book, although I don't know if there is a waterway. Then Ash and his team got the egg that Professor Elm mentioned. This is a gray-green Pokémon egg. Wow, this is the first time I've seen an egg of this color. What Pokémon is inside it? Misty asked curiously. Miss Cheng Mei, who was in charge of the egg, said, "I don't know much about this. I only know that this was taken out from the Pokémon Reserve in MT Silver by the poaching group. Took it out, I'm afraid it was stolen." Ash thought so. He was 100% sure that this was the egg of the little Larvitar. Hopefully, this rain will stop soon. Yes, I asked him to protect the egg and do a health check because Professor Elm is the consultant of the Johto Region Pokémon Protection Association. Just then, soaring in the sky suddenly darkened, followed by a sudden rainstorm. Ash's face was covered with black lines. Xiaogang, people can have dreams, but they can't be delusional. Where do so many legendary Pokémon come from? But then he thought Larvitar's final evolution is Bangira, a Johto region quasi-god Pokémon and can be considered a half-legendary Pokémon. Then Ash, since you got the Pokémon egg, can you please come over? That's not right. Even if it is a rock Pokémon, the body temperature is not that low. Xiaogang looked at Larvitar carefully and said solemnly. After everyone noticed this change, they all gathered together. Normally, the egg will shell smash out at this time, just like Ash's Phampi did last time. This is Larvitar lives in caves and mountainous areas. They are born deep underground and will eat soil while moving towards the ground where their loved ones are. They have a strong appetite and will keep eating. There is an example of eating an entire mountain. After eating enough, they will start to sleep in order to grow. Normal, the light emitted by the Pokémon egg is the light of life and it is impossible to dim easily. This light will only get brighter and brighter until the Pokémon is born. What's going on? It's very wrong. Ash frowned. This situation is simply too rare. Hurry, let's find a place to hide from the rain. It seems that we still have to wait for a while before hatching. Yes, I understand. Ash and his friends were going back to New Barktown and this was a task along the way. So cute! Misty went forward to hug it but found that she couldn't pull it at all. After getting the egg, the group contacted Professor Elm and informed him of the progress of the task. Even if it is full of moonlight waves, it is more of a soothing effect. If you want to completely solve the problem, you still have to find a way to raise its temperature. However, the contest condition of this Larvitar is very wrong. It seems to resist the outside world and its whole body curls up. It doesn't have the novelty and activity of normal Pokémon, however this egg only flashed for a moment and then dimmed again. I see, so you contacted Professor Elm, right? Xiaogang said. This is a small monster Pokémon with gray-green skin, long blunt horns on the top of the head, diamond-shaped red scales on the abdomen, and a tail that blooms like a stone lotus. What kind of Pokémon will hatch from this? Misty asked curiously while looking at the Pokémon egg during a break. Then Ash held the egg and hid in a cave with Misty. Just as they were still communicating, suddenly the Pokémon egg suddenly lit up. Ash smiled. Sometimes isn't the unknown something worth looking forward to? Ash looked at the heavy rain outside. Now it seems that we can only wait until the rain is a little lighter or stops before sending it to the nearby Pokémon to use their heart. Such small monsters are very popular in the world of Ultraman Tiga. Get out of my way. Maybe there will be some legendary Pokémon inside, Xiaogang interrupted. I don't know why the poaching group abandoned it, but fortunately it was sent to me. In this way, it should be able to temporarily relieve it for a while, Ash thought. Don't look at it so small, it is conservatively 70 kilograms, Ash explained. Maybe it was because Ash's arms were warm, the Pokémon egg once again emitted light. After noticing this change, Ash quickly put the Pokémon egg down and finally the Pokémon in it was born. Not long after, the rain stopped. Because Larvitar was hatched from an egg, it was not Ash's Pokémon, so Ash had to carry it all the way to the Pokémon Center. It's strange, the physical indicators are all fine, but why can't the body temperature go up? And it's constantly dropping. If it continues like this, it will be life-threatening. After the examination, Nurse Joy couldn't find any problems. After all, this was the first time she had seen such a situation. Nurse Joy, don't you have any other ideas? This time, Xiaogang didn't take the initiative to approach Nurse Joy and offer his courtesy as he did before. This was also the most reliable point of Xiaogang, that is, knowing the severity of the matter. Anyway, I'll contact Professor Elm first. Ash thought for a while, then I'll contact Professor Oak. As a result, when he called Professor Oak, he found that Professor Oak was not there and it was Tracy who answered the phone. Tracy, please help me teleport Typhlosion and Bangilla as well, 863. Okay. After getting the Pokémon Ball, Ash released Typhlosion. It's decided to be you, Typhlosion. Please make sure to keep Larvitar's body temperature up. Typhlosion nodded, picked up Larvitar and wrapped Larvitar with the softest fur on his abdomen. As a Pokémon, he also hoped that the child would get better soon, while Ash was rescuing Larvitar on the other side. Welcome, Professor Oak. What Ash never expected was that Professor Oak actually brought Ash's mother Delia to New Barktown, and it was Professor Elm who greeted them, which was why he didn't contact them just now. Long time no see, Kongmu. Let me introduce you. This is Ash's mother. The last scene Ash saw was a large truck speeding over, which scared him so much that he broke out in a cold sweat. When Ash picked up the phone, he found his mother was there too. Mom, why are you here in Johto region? However, while the three of them were enjoying dinner, Professor Elm noticed the mailbox, which was sent by Nurse Joy. This was an email sent to Professor Elm because Nurse Joy could not contact Professor Elm. Lacius looked at Ash, then at Larvitar, and suddenly his eyes flashed. Ash could naturally feel it. Is this a dream projection? This is what Larvitar sensed. Now through Lacia's dream projection, he is immersed in it and sees what he experienced. After a brief explanation, Ash expressed his speculation. Professor, the Larvitar was stolen from the MT. Silver Pokémon reserve by a poaching group when it was still an egg. I suspect that Larvitar's body temperature problem is not physical but psychological. Sekf. It seems that this is on the back seat of the motorcycle, and he is in a large wooden box. To be continued. Ash's recent progress was too obvious, and the legendary Pokémon that were sent to him also made him enjoy himself, so, in terms of emotion, reason, public and private. Ash's vision was black, and then he heard the sound of a motorcycle and could feel the vibration. His eyes gradually lit up and several cracks of light appeared. Ash opened his eyes and found that Lacius had fallen asleep at the end of the bed, and Typhlosion had also fallen asleep. I just exchanged Typhlosion with Tracy to help maintain its body temperature, and Nurse Joy also injected it with a nutrient injection. Now that he has the heat of Typhlosion to maintain, his body temperature has finally stabilized. Delia was also very polite. Hello, thank you for taking care of Ash. As a result, as soon as he said this, the phone was answered by Professor Oak hung up. They had to rush over as soon as possible. The content of the email was about what happened now and just now about Larvitar. Delia was about to answer, but Professor Oak interrupted their conversation eagerly. Ash, now is not the time to talk about this. How is the Larvitar doing? When he woke up, it was already daybreak. After Ash put Lacias on the sofa and let her sleep well, he went forward to check Larvitar's contest condition. Ash shook his head. I'm fine. Then he looked at Larvitar in Typhlosion's arms. Little guy, come on, I will definitely save you. If Ash saw me and his mother coming here, he would be surprised. Bringing Delia here was also a surprise that Professor Oak wanted to give Ash. Yes, Ash, it is very wise for you to think of using Typhlosion to maintain its body temperature at the first time. Now we will rush over immediately, but the more terrifying thing is yet to come. The Pokémon egg rolled into the river and drifted with the current. Then Ash came to the town, kicked around by the pedestrians, and was finally lifted to the middle of the road. Nurse Joy also woke up. Ash, let me take Larvitar's temperature again. After Lacias noticed Ash's contest condition, he pulled his arm as if telling him to rest. Typhlosion also looked at him worriedly. He had already evolved to the final stage, so he naturally didn't have to worry about his energy, but Ash was not sure. Professor Oak also checked it together. It didn't matter if he checked it, but the two professors' faces tightened and the situation was not good. After the examination, Larvitar's temperature has been controlled. Professor Oak and Delia wanted to celebrate Ash and congratulate him on collecting all 8 badges and having the qualification to participate in the Silver Conference. Finally, Professor Elm and Professor Oak arrived overnight and Ash's mother came with them. Just under the contest condition of the egg, he experienced so many thrills. At this time, the rain that had finally stopped in soaring in the sky started to fall again, and it was much more violent than the last time. Misty Zyoging had already gone to sleep, leaving only Ash and Typhlosion here and of course, Lacias. Professor Oak immediately contacted Ash. Ash, how are you doing? Ash, you have to take care of yourself too, Delia urged. Then it seems that the motorcycle flipped over and the lid of the box opened. Ash felt that he was wrapped in a dark green shell and rolled out of the wooden box. Ash, is there really no room for negotiation? No, Professor, Lacias still wants to travel with me. I promised her that we would travel together. At least wait until the Silver Conference is over. The story goes back to 10 minutes ago. The next day, Professor Oak and Professor Elm rushed to the Magic Baby Center where Ash and his friends were. After a night of emergency treatment, little Larvitar's condition has stabilized. After the professional treatment of the two professors, little Larvitar has completely recovered. Now, a new member has joined, that is the newly hatched Larvitar, but it still needs Ash to hold it most of the time, or when it is placed underground, Eevee and Pikachu will play with it. I just resigned from my job not long ago. The reason is that there was an emergency at home, plus some special reasons of my own, so I applied for resignation. It was originally said that I could leave on the 15th of last month, but the place I was responsible for was short of people, and the resignation form was not approved immediately, so it was delayed for another 2 weeks. I have been working night shifts for several months before, and I fell asleep in the dormitory after work every day, so I didn't update. Entei, let's have a showdown. Suddenly, a boy wearing glasses and holding a computer appeared from behind the tree. This Ursaring looked extremely irritable. After seeing Ash and his group, it opened its mouth and shot a destructive deathlight. Ash was about to step forward to erect a barrier to block it, and the little Larvitar suddenly came in front of him with white light all over his body, and countless light balls formed a halo around it. Thank you, 10,000. When I came back, I chatted with my friends for a while. My friends also knew about my situation. They also encouraged me. After returning home, I was decadent for a few days. Otherwise, I could have updated you a few days ago. After all, I am a contest condition. Finally updated. I know everyone has been waiting for a long time. Let me talk about some recent situations. I wanted to open a single sheet, but I thought about it carefully. There is no need. To be continued. Then, it is the scene that appeared at the beginning. Regarding the plot issue, I will formally reply here. After 10 chapters at most, you can reach Silver Conference. I will do my best to describe the exciting games to you, don't worry about that. I will try to enter the Hone chapter before next month, which is also a new beginning for the protagonist. Yes, of course it is it, I want to subdue it, Shang Yi admitted decisively. Suddenly, a beast roar came from the side of the forest, and then an Ursaring came out from behind the tree. However, after Professor Oak saw Lache's true face, he immediately had evil thoughts, not in that aspect, so he went to Ash to discuss this matter. Seeing their surprised looks, Shang Yi introduced, I analyzed several places where Entei appeared before, and the result is that Entei will appear in this area next time. After the boy appeared, he saw that it was not Entei who triggered the alarm but a group of people. He showed disappointment but still said politely, it turned out that it was not Entei. Sorry, hello, my name is Shanghai. The alarm just now was also waiting for Entei. Obviously, he could only guess the approximate area but not the exact location. However, this Larvitar is only close to Ash and his Pokémon. Once Misty and Brock want to get close to him, its body will become stiff. But regarding Lache's attitude, Ash's attitude is very firm, that is, it is impossible. After all, there was an agreement that Lache's must be taken with him for the rest of the journey, so no matter what, Ash will not let Professor Oak take Lache's away. Ash pulled Larvitar and said to Misty, wait a minute Misty, there is something mysterious here. Well, that's all I want to say. I will wait until the end of the month to read the book review. The number of subscribers has dropped a lot. I hope everyone can come back, but this is also amazing. Ash also recognized this. This is a purposeful pursuit of the trainer. However, for the small mechanism he set up, Ash still disagreed from the bottom of his heart because, a great beast, how could he be so easily trapped by such a small trap? Roar! From the beginning, Ash, Misty and Brock until the Water City, Lache's joined the team, but she still appeared in front of everyone as a cannon. After Ash and his group introduced themselves, Misty asked, excuse me, is the Entei you just mentioned the Entei among the 3 legendary beasts? You want to subdue Entei? Misty and Xiao gang were quite surprised because as Ash's companions they naturally knew that Ash had subdued Suicune and Raikou, and only this last beast was missing to collect the 3 beasts. And now, Ash and his group will continue to set off from New Bark Town. Suddenly, many sounds suddenly sounded in the forest as if some mechanism was touched. If you want to be completely recognized by the beast, you need to have strong strength. Before she could react, Ash picked up a sharp stone and flicked it in one direction and only heard a subtle sound like the sound of a broken thread. When Ash and his group passed by a jungle, they unexpectedly heard about Entei. As a result, they also met a young man named Shang Yi. Shang Yi is a Pokémon trainer who yearns for Entei very much. His dream is to capture Entei, and he has made a lot of preparations for this. If Entei appears, can I try to capture it first? After all, this is my wish all along. Ash and his group nodded. It's not that Ash is very generous. When Ash captured Cyndaquil before, he also met a trainer who wanted to capture it, but that trainer was too rude and his methods were extremely dirty. Compared with Shangyi in front of him, he was 8 or 90 worse. After seeing his strong will, Ash couldn't help but remind him, Shanghai, if you only rely on those little tricks, I think you should take back this idea. The legendary beasts also have their own pride. To be recognized, the trainer's own strength is needed. Thank you for your reminder, Ash, Shanghai nodded and said, then shared with them. I have specially prepared a killer move to capture Entei. The killer move? Misty Xiaogang asked in confusion. At this time Shanghai looked at Ash. If you fight me, you can see it. Entei, come with me to fight to capture it, Ash said to Entei when he was about to leave. Mean look is to stare at rival with a black gaze so that it cannot escape during the battle, Ash explained, which means that Pokémon in battle cannot be collected into the Pokémon ball and wild Pokémon cannot escape. Although it is a practice match, it doesn't matter whether there is a referee or not, but there is a benefit, that is, it allows the trainer to concentrate and gather his fighting spirit. Misdreavus is a ghost-type Pokémon. Compared with Ghastly, which is also a ghost-type, its appearance is a level higher. Even Misty, who is afraid of ghost-type Pokémon, said, this was the sound from the mythical beasts, and only the mythical beasts could roar like this. At the same time, Misdreavus suddenly appeared in front of Eevee, screaming and making faces. Eevee was really a little panicked by this and took 2 steps back. Shangyi's eyes lit up, and without telling Ash and the others, he took Misdreavus to the sound of the alarm. Then start the battle now, and the Pokémon used are limited to 2. Xiaogang still plays the role of referee. Ash glanced at Entei and found that its aptitude had reached the gold deepening level, while Misdreavus's aptitude was only blue deepening, which was not good enough for Entei. A beam of black light came out of Misdreavus's blood-red eyes and hit Eevee, but Eevee felt nothing at all. Misdreavus's appearance is still quite memorable. She has a hairstyle similar to Will-O-Wisp, big eyes, and a string of red beads around her neck. She looks like a rich lady next door. Eevee, stay calm and use the flying sand kick. Roar! Before they caught up with Shangyi, they heard 10 deafening roars. After hearing Ash's order, Eevee shook his head and then used his 2 hind legs to hit Misdreavus continuously. Misdreavus was caught off guard and his vision was confused by the sand and he couldn't fight back at all. The Pokémon used by Shangyi on the opposite side was also decided at the beginning, because he wanted to show Ash the ultimate move he prepared for Entei, go Misdreavus. At this moment, the alarm set by Shangyi sounded on the other side of the jungle, and the strange light and mean look that had an effect on Eevee before had no effect at all. No, or only mean look had an effect on Eevee. Look worked because Emperor couldn't escape. Mean look, what kind of skill is it? Misty asked in confusion. Before capturing Entei, of course, it would be best to have a warm-up battle first. Shangyi gritted his teeth and gave the order. Misdreavus's contest condition was also adjusted quickly. The strange light just hit Eevee, who wanted to rush forward. It was at this time that Eevee fell into a chaotic contest condition. I'll send you this time, Eevee. Ash decided to send Eevee to play this practice match. On the one hand, he wanted to strengthen the tacit understanding between Eevee and himself, and on the other hand, the Silver Conference was coming soon. Eevee, as his partner Pokémon, would definitely appear, so it was a good choice to let it accumulate some battle experience in advance. As agreed, Shangyi stepped forward. Entei, let's fight it out. Oh, Ash's mouth corners slightly raised. If that's the case, I would like to see it. Misdreavus used the line. But even so, Misdreavus was forced back into the Pokémon ball by Entei's roar, which meant that mean look also lost its effect. Shanghai's little tricks really had no effect on Entei. Misdreavus, take the initiative and use Astonish. That means that when it comes to Entei, it can't escape. Xiaogang saw through everything and said, so cute. Then they passed through the jungle and came to a hillside on which Entei, like an emperor, was looking down at everything. Shang also wanted to capture Entei, but it was impossible. Because, in the previous battle, Misdreavus's skills had no effect on Entei, and the only effective mean look was invalid after Misdreavus was forced back into Pokémon by Entei's roar. Therefore, when Ash saw Entei was about to leave, he jumped out and said to it, "Entei, capture battle." Entei looked at Ash as if he noticed something, so he stopped and turned to face Ash. After the smoke cleared, Entei and Bangira were seen wrestling. Although Giga Impact had some side effects, Bangira also had some advantages in hand-to-hand combat. "Ash, who the hell is he?" Just as Pikachu was about to jump out, Ash called him, "Pikachu, this time I want to send it out." Pikachu and Ash were in tune with each other and understood what Ash meant, so he slowly followed Ash. "Okay, it's you, Bangilla." That's right, Ash sent Bangilla, one of his most powerful generals this time. Since he was captured by him last time, he has been training himself in the backyard of Professor Oak and spends most of his time every day wrestling with Rhydon or practicing his special moves. After he roared as loudly as Entei, he looked at Entei with burning eyes. "This is Bangilla?" Shang Yi swallowed his saliva and said in horror. After seeing this Bangilla, Shang Yi felt that he couldn't breathe. "Go, Bangilla. Use Rock Slide?" The momentum must be played out at the beginning, so Ash let Bangilla use this move, which has a chance to make the opponent fall into a shrinking contest condition physical skill, but it doesn't seem to have any effect on the mythical beast. Entei dodged the falling rock with just a few jumps and then came to Bangilla with a look of fighting spirit in his eyes. When Bangira stomped on the ground with his left foot, his arms rose at the same time and Sandstorm suddenly rose on the battlefield. It was so fierce that even Entei could not see the direction. Since you can't dodge, then face it head-on. Bangira gathered all his strength and rushed towards Entei. Entei was not to be outdone and also rushed forward with all four limbs. When the destruction ray hit Eruption, it set off a huge hurricane. The intensity of the hurricane made Latias show his true form to block the attack for everyone. Bangira was covered in burns and looked at Entei breathlessly. Entei was also in pain. If you look closely, you can see that its limbs are trembling slightly. Bangilla roared and then stomped hard on the ground with one foot, and the rock-type energy turned into sharp rocks and went straight to Entei. This is not flamethrower, nor is it a flame vortex. This is, Ash thought about it, eruption. To be continued. As it turned out, Bangira did not disappoint Ash. It also opened its mouth and bit Entei's neck. Entei's Fire Fang also bit Bangira's arm. Eruption can be said to be a big move of the fire type which attacks rival by bursting anger. In the game, the smaller the HP, the smaller the power. Bangilla and Ash retreated under the influence of the hurricane, but Bangilla took a step forward against the huge wind force. Ash, who set up the waveguide barrier, couldn't help but nodded. Just then, Ash noticed a flame condensed at the corner of Entei's mouth, which then turned into a pair of fangs. It was Fire Fang. "No matter what, I can only take a gamble." Bangilla use Earthquake. And now, Entei's physical strength is the most abundant. When fighting with Misdreavus has almost no strength in the battle, which is when the eruption skill is at its most powerful, so it can offset Stone Edge and attack Bangilla with undiminished power. In addition to affecting the field, the skill Sandstorm will also cause damage to Pokémon except Rock, Steel, and Ground. In addition to the previous Earthquake, even Entei can't stand these two consecutive injuries. Because Rock-type special moves have twice the damage to Fire-type special moves, Ash still let it focus on Rock-type special moves. Bangira Crunch. Let's see if Bangira can recover. Use Giga Impact. Maybe this is the last blow, but you have to show your momentum. Boom! With an explosion, the two Pokémon were separated. Latias, Zyoging, take the others away from this place at least 1 kilometer. Considering that the situation might be even more out of control, Ash asked irrelevant people to leave here immediately. Then raise Sandstorm. This sentence was conveyed to Bangira by Ash through his inner consciousness. With the tacit understanding between it and Ash, it should be able to hear it. Entei successfully captured. Witnessing all this, Shang also felt that his 3 views were overturned. The continuous big move bombardment was too grand. He felt powerless, as if he had said before that he would conquer. Entei is a joke. This time, Entei did not mean to dodge but faced this attack directly. The next second it opened its mouth and spit out a flame to block this stone edge. The sharp stone turned into powder under the attack of this flame. When Shang-Yi saw this attack, he was so scared that he sat on the ground. Just imagine if his mischievous took this move, it would be simply unthinkable. Come back, Bangira, you did a good job. After Ash took back Bangira, he took out an Ultra Ball and pointed it at Entei. I have your approval this time. Bangilla, destroy the Death Ray. Although I taught Bangilla the Dark Pulse skill before, the Destruction Ray is still better in terms of power after all. Ash can't guarantee that he can definitely block it. You'll get used to it. Misty Zyoging is no longer surprised. Bang! The two Pokémon collided with each other and the October dust was raised around them. Become my partner, Entei. Entei looked at him, nodded, and then walked over, and the crown on his forehead touched the Ultra Ball. Let's have a good fight, Bangilla Stone Edge. I never thought that Slowpoke could evolve in another way. It's really eye-opening. Ash is really good. After all, he was the first to discover this evolution. But then again, how did you know about this, Ash? I read about this in a book before. Although it's just a guess, I still tried it. When Ash and his party passed by a beautiful lake, they saw many Slowpokes there, but they all looked listless. After Alice and Tyre's introduction, they learned that Slowpokes can evolve into Slowking after wearing the king's crown, and then this Slowking will lead other Slowpokes and Slow Hippopotamus to the Slowpoke Paradise. This is also the conclusion they came to after studying the murals. However, Slowpoke is very slow. Every time a Slowpoke wants to get close to it, the Shelder in the lake will jump out and bite. Faba will evolve into Slow Hippopotamus. In order to help them, Ash teleported his Slowking over, first helped them to lead them to the Slowpoke Paradise, and then helped one of the Slowpokes, that is, Alice's Shasha, get the king's crown and successfully evolve into Slowking. When they parted, Ash promised them to tell Professor Oak about this new way of evolution. After all, this is also a major discovery. That's Elekid. Just when they passed a forest, they saw an Elekid. This Elekid looked very energetic, but Ash had no intention of taming it. According to the original plot, Casey also met them again here in order to find it. To be honest, among all the characters that appeared in the Johto region, Casey impressed Ash the most. From the initial encounter in New Bark Town, to the insect-catching conference, and now, there have been 3 encounters. Looking at the characters related to Ash later, although they appeared many times, they were basically Ash's destined rivals, such as Shinji, Trip, Alan, etc. And Casey is the only trainer who has met Ash many times, and is not a supporting character who appears as Ash's rival, because in the Silver Conference in the original book, Ash did not fight Casey, so to some extent he is not Ash's rival. After seeing Elekid, Larvitar at Ash's feet wanted to get close to him, but Ash suddenly frowned and rushed up, directly picked up Elekid and Larvitar and dodged the doctor beside the temple. At the same time, just as Elekid and Larvitar met, several net bags suddenly fell where Larvitar was originally staying. It seems that if Ash had not reacted in time, Larvitar and Elekid would have been caught. Team Rocket, it's you again. Why don't you come out and meet each other? To be continued, there is no need to say more about what happened afterwards. Casey commanded Meganium to capture Elekid. Who made you the protagonist? As long as you are defeated once, maybe the author will look at us differently, and then we will have more roles. As the rockets flew farther and farther until they turned into a meteor, Ash said to Elekid and Larvitar, "Okay, you're safe now." Before Ash could say anything, Casey passed him and came to Elekid. "Finally found you, Elekid. You made me look for you so hard." Casey, I didn't expect to meet you here again." Ash couldn't stand the embarrassing situation, so he couldn't help coughing. "It should be here?" At this moment, a voice of Stephanie came from the other side of the forest. "I can't tell you about this thing yet, but I can guarantee that it will be very useful in the future, and it is also related to your Pokémon, but now is not the time to use it. I believe that someone should be able to guess what this mysterious thing is." "Ash, what is this? Then when can I open it?" Boom. "Really? I'm afraid I'll disappoint you." After saying that, Ash's left hand had already condensed an aura sphere, and then in their surprised eyes, the aura sphere was getting closer and closer to them. If I remember correctly, when challenging the battle frontier in the future, I should meet a potential Elekid. I really don't know whether to say it's been a long time since we last met or you guys are still incorrigible, Ash sneered. Then Misty and Zyoging came over to say hello. During the conversation, they learned that Casey also chased here for this Elekid. Oh, it's okay. It's normal to lose control of your emotions when you meet your favorite Pokémon. Ash waved his hand, indicating that he didn't care about it. By the way, that's Misty and Zyoging. You are also familiar with them. Casey will appear in the future, and it is tentatively scheduled after the end of Hone and before Battle Frontier. Casey then noticed Ash and said a little ashamedly, "Tilda, sorry Ash, I was so excited to see the Elekid just now that I forgot about you." Although it looked enthusiastic, Larvitar was a little scared after seeing her, and his whole body began to become stiff. "Hey, this is?" After seeing Larvitar, Casey didn't recognize it at first and then took out the Pokémon Pokédex and realized it was Larvitar. As for the Meganium beside her, it was the Earl Dervish Pokémon Casey got at a glance. The final evolution of Chikorita, and the yellow headband on her head was the best proof. What a disgusting feeling. A critical moment. It was knocked away again just after 1 minute of its appearance. After a while, Stephanie, wearing a yellow-striped baseball uniform, walked out of the forest with a Meganium by her side. After seeing Ash, she immediately rushed up. Before parting, Ash gave her something. The critical moment, not only Casey but even Zyoging and Misty were confused. This thing is too mysterious. Little brat, since that dog author disappeared, we have completely lost the opportunity to appear. Be content, it didn't even take 1 minute before. As for this Elekid, Ash still gave it up because its qualifications had just reached blue, which was still too poor compared to the Pokémon he already had. Little brat, I didn't expect that you would react so quickly. As he spoke, the 3-member Team Rocket appeared in front of him. Only Ash smiled slightly and the answer will be revealed at that time. Then go find the author. Why are you looking for me? We should still ask the author for clarification, meow. This day, Ash and his group came to the Pokémon Center at the foot of MT, Silver. Nurse Joy, seeing you makes me feel like I can climb MT, Silver right now. Okay, don't bother me doing my work. Then Misty walked to the side holding Zyoging's ear. After Nurse Joy took out Ash's Pokémon ball, she said to Ash, "You are Ash, right? There is a message from you." Message for me? With this question, Ash called the Pokémon Center. He guessed that it was Professor Oak or Professor Elm who called, otherwise there would be no one. After checking, it turned out to be Professor Oak. As for what it was, before, Ash sent Professor Oak a picture of another way to evolve Slowpoke, that is, the mural of the lake in the form of a picture. I guess there should be a result now, Professor Oak. Ash, you have arrived at MT, Silver now, Professor Oak asked Ash at the other end. I'm already here, Professor. By the way, Professor, have you dealt with the mural in the 933rd time? It's already been dealt with. The mural you sent over has confirmed Slowking's evolution theory. I've added the paper and also included your name. As for the reward, I'll give it to you after the Silver Conference is over. Don't worry, it's definitely there. Okay, then I'm looking forward to it. Also, Professor, is Mitsumi here? Mitsumi, I guess you're still playing with your Pokémon in the backyard. Wait a minute, Professor Oak turned his head and shouted, "Mitsumi, Ash is looking for you." Brother Ash, Mitsumi ran over immediately after hearing Ash's name. Has Mitsumi been good recently? Have you been obedient? Ash asked with a smile. Of course, Mitsumi has always been very good. Okay, this time Brother Ash brought you a present. He said. He took out an Ultra Ball. Hey, Brother Ash, have you captured another beast? Mitsumi's eyes were already shining. Professor Oak looked at the Ultra Ball and had some guesses, but in his heart, he still tried to tell himself not to get excited. Professor, just pass this Ultra Ball. After saying that, Ash passed this Ultra Ball. Professor Oak couldn't wait to open it, and with a majestic roar, Entei appeared in front of them. Wow, it's Entei! After Mitsumi saw Entei, the stars in his eyes almost popped out, and then he rushed over. It's really true, Entei, I like you the most. Entei felt that the little Stephanie on his body really liked him, so he leaned down and waited for Mitsumi to sit down, then took her to run around in Professor Oak's backyard and greeted Suicune and Reiku during the process. Ash, is Larvitar okay? Of course. Ash moved the camera away and saw Larvitar looking around curiously. He was no longer as timid as he was at the beginning. After all, a young Pokémon is still full of curiosity about the world. As for the people gathered here, most of them were trainers and Pokémon participating in the Silver Conference, and the rest were tourists. Larvitar looks much more confident. Ash, good job. After Ash hung up the phone, a trainer came to him. Hello, I just heard that you are also attending the Silver Conference. Can you duel with me? Ash turned around and saw a young man looking for him. My name is Kyanie, can you duel with me? Ash would not refuse the invitation to fight, so he nodded and agreed immediately. After choosing the battlefield, the game will begin. Okay, it's up to you, little duck-billed dragon. Kyanie sent out the little duck-billed dragon, which is also the pre-evolution form of the duck-billed fire dragon. It's decided to be you, Dratini. Ash sent out the Dratini because it is very difficult to train a quasi-god, so when fighting, Ash sent out Dratini. I didn't expect that you have a Dratini in addition to Larvitar. Kyanie's eyes lit up, but his fighting spirit also became full. Even if it is Dratini, we will never be afraid. Little duck-billed dragon flamethrower, Dratini use blizzard. After blizzard and flamethrower collided, a large amount of white steam was emitted, blocking their vision. Little Hadrosaurus rush forward and use dynamic punch. Dratini dodge and use Aqua Tail. The little Hadrosaurus was very fast, but no matter how fast it was not as fast as Dratini. Just after the little Hadrosaurus's attack smackdown, Dratini's Aqua Tail hit the little Hadrosaurus from the side. Dratini use Thunder Wave. Little Hadrosaurus double team. When Thunder Wave came, the little Hadrosaurus split into many figures and Thunder Wave happened to hit one of the clones. Use Dynamic Punch now. Avoid it. A simple avoidance caused the duck-billed dinosaur's attack to miss again. Kyanie was already a little confused. This was a bit too unreasonable. But the facts told him that with extreme speed he was so willful. Use Aqua Tail. It was the same move again, hitting the duck-billed dinosaur, but with a bang the water vapor exploded and the duck-billed dinosaur emitted white light. Then, the duck-billed dinosaur's body continued to rise, evolving into a duck-billed fire. Seeing this, Ash also took back Dratini. You challenged me to fight just to let the duck-billed dinosaur evolve. Well, this time, I have a better chance of participating in the Silver Conference. Afterwards, Team Rocket wanted to capture the Pokémon here, but was discovered by Ash and easily knocked away. It is worth mentioning that Larvitar accidentally awakened a new trick in the battle with Team Rocket Rock Throw Attack. After coming up from the foot of the mountain, Ash and his party finally reached MT, Silver. At this moment, the attentive Misty looked up and saw a strange fluctuation in soaring in the sky. Hey, what is that? Above everyone's head, something similar to a space door suddenly appeared, and then a black thing fell out and this black thing was about to hit Misty's head. Snap! Ash caught this Unknown with a snap of his fingers. What followed was the world that Unknown saw, many worlds it had experienced and many parallel worlds. Countless Unknown were floating in the air and from time to time they performed the magic of love and spun in circles. When I got closer, I found that this Unknown was in the shape of G and was the one missing from the Unknown collected by Ash. Among the 30 Unknowns that were captured before and were missing as well as the letters G, L, and P. Unknown is a Pokémon with a unique feature. When a single Unknown appears, it is not threatening. However, once Unknown gather together, they will generate incredible power. In the previous Crystal Tower incident, whether it was Mitsumi's Crystal Tower, her imaginary Entei, or the captured Unknown that allowed Ash to have the advanced version of the ultimate armor, they were all mysterious powers generated by Unknown. An Unknown, to put it bluntly, is no different from salted fish. Ash noticed that Unknown's contest condition was a bit wrong. Unknown seems to be unwell and came here after being separated from his companions. After Ash put it down, he reached out and touched his forehead. It's so hot, he really has a fever. Laisha's also showed his true form when he saw this, releasing pink light towards it. Misty Zyoging, hold on to me. Ash reached out and felt sucked in and Misty Zyoging was also taken in. Larvitar, you performed very well this time. Misty walked over and wanted to praise Larvitar, but it hardened again. Ash, what is this? Since they were still far from the Pokémon Center, they decided to camp there as it was getting dark. After Unknown felt the change in Larvitar, the light in his eyes flashed, and he directly enveloped Ash and his group. Zyoging, who was cooking, looked at Ash's back and nodded. Maybe this trip has changed him. And now, it is about to get home. When Ash woke up the next day, he saw that Unknown had fully recovered. Pikachu and Laisha's are gone too. After everyone gathered, they also started a new adventure. Ash is becoming more and more mature now, Misty couldn't help but say as she looked at him. After all, after experiencing the incident in the Crystal Tower, they were not so panicked. Misty Zyoging also sat on the eggshell and moved closer to Ash. It was floating in the air and tumbling constantly, and it was circling around Larvitar. It seemed that they had become good friends. Heal Pulse! Ash read out the name of this move, but this move can only make it recover some spirits and cannot cure fever. Sure enough, it's just as I thought, this should be Larvitar's inner world. To be continued. Along the way, they saw many scenes, including Ash's Bangilla, Entei, and Sloking of the beautiful lake. All of them were what Larvitar had experienced since he was born. After hearing what Ash said, Little G stood up, looked at Ash with big eyes, and then bowed deeply. It can be seen that this is also a polite and good child. After hearing Misty's question, Ash thought for a while. Maybe, after entering here, we can know what Larvitar had experienced before he was born that made him unforgettable. At the same time, they also found Pikachu, Togepi, and Latias, but in this world their figures became huge, and Ash and the other two were very small in their eyes. Ash Togepi is gone. Little G, don't worry, when you are done, I will send you back to your original world. I have a lot of unknown and I will definitely send you back. Little G is a name that Ash came up with on a whim, otherwise he would be a little uncomfortable without a suitable name. Ash. Point Larvitar covered it with a small blanket. For some reason, it looked at Little G and got along very well, getting closer and closer to the Silver Conference. What will be waiting for them there? Then, they came to a large gray-green egg. The egg was huge with holes all over it and covered with black thorns. Larvitar cares about it very much. Larvitar and Ash were responsible for taking care of the unknown. Misty Zyoging, don't worry, this is Unknown's hidden power. We should be in Larvitar's inner world now. Ash found himself standing on half of the gray-green eggshell and said to Misty Zyoging. That's right, maybe he saw himself in this Unknown who was separated from his companions. Ash and his friends came to Larvitar's inner world under the hidden power of Unknown, Little G. In order to find the root cause of Larvitar's inner shadow, Ash and his friends came to another world through a black thorn. Where is this place? Misty asked as she looked at the empty scene around her. Ash looked at the Pikachu in his arms. I think this is another inner world of Larvitar. Maybe it's the scene he saw before he was born. Pikachu and Togepi have both returned to their original size, only Latias has not yet transformed into a human form and flew over to rub Ash's face. Suddenly, a huge black figure appeared in front of Ash and his friends. Unlike Pikachu and his friends, this black figure was particularly hideous and twisted, accompanied by bursts of roars. Ash, what is that? Then this black figure stretched out a pair of mechanical arms and rushed towards Ash 407 and his friends. Then these mechanical arms grew many black tentacles and came towards Ash and his friends, but Ash and his friends dodged them in time. Swish, swish, swish! Ash threw out several disc blades to cut off these tentacles and picked up a cut one and touched it. Its hardness was comparable to that of fine iron. It's a bit similar to the crystals of the Crystal Tower, but you can feel fear and terror from it. It turns out that Unknown can change the scene according to different hearts. Ash remembered that Mitsumi's father's disappearance caused her to feel lonely and helpless, which led to the creation of the Crystal Tower. The advanced version of the ultimate armor on his body was also based on the crystal virtual image produced by Unknown, which evolved into a crystal-like material and became armor worn on his body. And now, Larvitar has been traumatized by his unfortunate childhood experience, so he has produced something similar to fine iron. In summary, Unknown's hidden power has more possibilities. So scary, so scary! Ugh, the sudden sound of fear came from all directions. Ash, what is this sound? Misty, who was a little timid, hid behind Ash in fear when she heard this sound. Then everyone saw that the mechanical arm in front of them grabbed a Pokémon egg and handed it to a man. They saw the figures of 3 men. Those people. That's Larvitar's egg. It turned out that it was stolen by these scum before it was born. After witnessing this fact, Ash's anger became more and more intense. He swore that if he met these people, he would not let any of them go. However, the scene that made everyone rage continued to play out. The scene in front of them kept changing and the figure of a Bangira appeared in front of them. Larvitar, take this step to become a quasi-god. Wake up! Ash's right hand gathered the power of Wave Guide and punched the ice. A flash of white light, the big egg with thousands of holes returned to its original appearance, and then when everyone opened their eyes again, they had returned to the real world. Little G floated in front of Ash and Larvitar with big curved eyes looking very happy. Ash continued to emit light to smash the spikes, and Pikachu and Eevee also continued to use Iron Tail and Swift to smash the spikes. They saw that under the cover of artillery fire, a crack appeared on Bangilla's armor. Ash smiled coldly and posed his hands in a cross shape, emitting blue light, smashing the spikes into pieces. Larvitar, haven't you always taken my Bangira as your role model? If you are like this now, you will never grow up. MD, if these scumbags let me see them, I will never let them go easily, Ash said with gritting his teeth. After the ice was broken, Larvitar opened his eyes and jumped into Ash's arms happily. Fortunately, it was Ash. If it was someone else, it would be easy to be overwhelmed. Yes, you still have us. Misty and Zyoging also came over, but they found something wrong, so they stopped. Could it be that it has become hard again? However, Larvitar looked at them happily and Misty successfully took its little hand. After this magical journey, Larvitar finally began to accept Misty and Zyoging. Ash looked at Zyog. This time I have to thank you again. How about you come with us? I have your companions there too. Zyog floated around Ash and finally nodded. Then please give me more advice, Unknown. Just like that, the 31st Unknown was successfully captured, to be continued. One step back from the Silver Conference. This time the battle lineup is left to you, and you decide. This also means that Larvitar has once again closed himself off due to psychological trauma. It's so hateful that they even use weapons against Pokémon. Even Zyoging, who usually doesn't show his emotions, said angrily. Less than 10 seconds later, Ash and his friends came to Larvitar. Larvitar, after you were born, didn't you have many beautiful and happy memories with us? Have you forgotten them all? Ash's voice seemed to be accumulating momentum. However, when they took a few steps, many spikes suddenly appeared on the ground. $379. Larvitar kept shouting, but Bangilla could only watch them snatch his child away. However, Larvitar was frozen. Just as they were about to approach, Black's cage rose from the ground. Ash took them back 2 steps, watching the Black's cage continue to rise and become 10 black towers. It seems that we have to bring it out ourselves. Ash moved his body. Let's go, Pikachu Eevee. Larvitar, look, you still have us, don't you? Ash said with a smile. It turns out that the reason why Larvitar can't open his heart to others is because he and his mother were ruthlessly separated. Until now, Zyoging and Misty also understood why Larvitar couldn't accept the two of them. When Black's cage dissipated with Bangira, a flash appeared in the distance. It was Larvitar. Misty and Brock, you guys come too. Laisha's, you stay here for a while to avoid any accidents. Most humans are kind-hearted. Misty and Brock also truly understood Larvitar and began to persuade him constantly. At the call of Ash and his group, Larvitar began to struggle and wanted to escape. Pika, buoy. Yeah, Laisha's nodded. Ash, they must be punished, Misty said with gritted teeth. Ash and his group hurried over and found that Larvitar had turned into the same state as before, curled up. Obviously, it was Larvitar's mother. There will be more happy things in the future. Don't worry, I will catch them myself after I get out. Bangira kept screaming. As a mother, her child was stolen. The mood in it can be imagined, but she was powerless and could only be swallowed by the artillery fire, making a 10-mile roar and Yuan howl. We should have arrived at the MT. Silver Reserve now? Ash said with a smile while holding Larvitar. Obviously, Larvitar's expression became very happy after arriving here because this is the smell he is most familiar with. That is the smell of home. Larvitar, this is the hometown where you were born, Misty said to it with a smile. Because Larvitar became less shy, they got along with Larvitar more happily. When they walked a little further, Larvitar suddenly became excited and then broke free from Ash's arms and ran deep into the forest. Soon, this trip to MT, Silver became Larvitar's trip with Ash and his group. It looks like it's very happy, Ash said with relief in that case. The one in the middle is the boss of the 3 of them. Gull, the 2 fat and thin ones next to him are Fatty and Key. Preview of the next chapter, Mother and Son finally reunited. Silver Conference is about to start Veilstone. Ash Bangilla also responded with a roar. Last time they captured it, their artillery fire cracked the armor of Bangilla. This time they prepared stronger firepower. No wonder Fatty could say that they would catch them all in one swoop. Hey, a half-mature idea came to mind. The three Pokémon Hunter brothers took this good opportunity to aim at Bangilla's mother, lock on target. However, the next scene caught them off guard because the Bangira in front of them actually fired a destructive death ray at them. That was the machine that cast a huge shadow on Larvitar in his dream. You should also come out to get some fresh air, Bangilla. Ash released Bangilla, who had always been with him. Roar! Bangilla roared and then sniffed with his nose to confirm that this was the place it liked. Speaking of Bangilla's mother, Ash suddenly had an idea in his heart. Since Pokémon of different races can have a beautiful love in the afterlife, what about races? Isn't the possibility even greater? Seeing this, Ash's Bangira strode forward to block the destructive death ray, and then he faced the elder sister directly, while Larvitar stood at the feet of Ash's Bangira, looking at his mother with horror. Bangilla, let this elder sister smelling salts. Please, let's explain. It's no use to explain now. Ash stretched out his hand to stop Zyogg and Misty, who wanted to come forward. The only way is to let this elder sister calm down and let Larvitar explain everything. During the time that he brought Bangilla with him, Ash also taught it many new moves, such as Ice Fang and Thunder Fang for close combat. Fire Fang had been learned before, Dark Pulse for long-range attack, Brick Break for fighting, etc. Ash, this is the Bangira that appeared in Larvitar's dream. It must be his mother, Misty said. Mom, how could it become like this? These people are all my benefactors. After seeing his idol, Larvitar quickly ran to Bangilla's feet and kept pointing forward with his little hand as if to invite Bangilla to visit his mother. So, after Ash's Bangilla and Larvitar explained, the mother finally believed Ash and his group, and it looked at the child in front of it with tears in its eyes. But at this beautiful time, someone wanted to destroy everything. No, the boss Gull, who was sitting in the middle, said, "Don't rush into things, haste makes waste, I have my own ideas." Pokémon Bag Launch. With a bang, after the heavy footsteps landed, a Bangilla appeared in front of them, but in terms of size, it was not as big as Ash's Bangilla. On this side, Ash's Bangilla once again blocked the elder sister's destructive death ray, and began to take the initiative to step forward and push hard to let her calm down. To be continued. Larvitar, go back to your mother. Ash squatted beside it and said to it gently. Obviously, this Bangira recognized Larvitar and its eyes were full of love. Boss Gull, we found the Larvitar. But there's a Bangilla next to him, much bigger than the one we encountered last time. Inside the machine, 3 people have been eyeing them. If Ash heard this, he would definitely spit on him. How dare you use an ancient Huxia saying to act like a fool? After all, Pokémon can communicate better with each other. At the same time, when Ash and his group passed through a jungle, a terrible roar was heard. Finally, the family was reunited. Looking at their size, they must be very valuable. Why don't we catch them all? Our firepower is more than twice as strong as last time. We can definitely catch them all, including the Pikachu, Fatty said with a greedy look. Larvitar's mother thinks that we are the ones who stole her eggs at that time. Ash was not panicked at all when he saw this, but said very calmly. However, just when Ash was thinking about the future of his Pokémon, someone in a corner not far away and unnoticed was staring at them. The Pokémon bag is the proud weapon of the 3 Hunter brothers to capture Pokémon. As long as the Pokémon they are targeting is hit, basically no Pokémon will escape. Ash, who was watching the reunion of the mother and son, suddenly felt his hair stand on end. After a closer look, he shouted, "Bangilla, retreat!" At the same time, the Pokémon bag hit Bangilla's mother, and the pop-up mechanism instantly tied her up tightly. Even her mouth was sealed so that she could not emit destructive death rays. When he found that the Pokémon bag was going to shoot at his Bangilla, he threw an aura sphere and blew up the Pokémon bag. Then he looked at the tied Bangilla mother and frowned. Bangilla, bite it open. Da. Bangilla roared and bit it with fangs with evil power. As a result, the capture device only left a mark and failed to unlock it. It seems that this device is very strong. Ha ha ha, hello! With bursts of laughter, the 3 Hunter brothers appeared in front of Ash. We took Bangilla away. Once caught by the Pokémon bag I invented, no matter how strong you are, you can't break free. This is what the thin man named Chico said. It seems that he is the inventor here. Everything is as I expected. The eldest brother Gull said complacently, "Speaking of which, I also want to thank you for allowing us to successfully capture Song Bangilla. To express our gratitude, we also want to capture your Bangilla and Pikachu." After hearing their words, Ash's face sank and he said coldly, "You bunch of scum, I was just worried that I couldn't find you, but I didn't expect you to come to my door." After hearing Ash's cold words, Gull, as the eldest brother, trembled all over and couldn't help asking, "Boy, who are you?" "Humph, I'll tell you after I catch you." "Bangilla, Dark Pulse?" This time, Ash was ready to give no mercy to anyone who dared to hurt Pokémon, and those who were in serious circumstances would not be regretted to die. Bangilla roared, spewed out evil power from his mouth, and then came towards them in a vortex. Fire! Since these three brothers dared to appear directly in front of Ash and the others, they must have something to rely on, so 5 gun barrels extended from the machines they brought. 5 rockets were fired at the same time and they actually blocked Dark Pulse's attack. One of the rockets missed and hit Ash's Bangilla. Ash was naturally aware of the power of their rockets. It was a weapon that could even crack Bangilla's armor. So he took a step forward with a blue light in his eyes. Boom! The wave power collided with the rocket, making an explosion. At this moment, a siren suddenly sounded in the distance. "Boss, the Pokémon Protection Officer is here, run." The 3 brothers acted decisively and stretched out their mechanical arms to grab Bangilla's mother, who was already tied up tightly. Although Ash had already felt that they had escaped at this time, his vision was still obscured by the smoke of the explosion. He waved his hand to disperse the smoke and looked at their fleeing backs and couldn't help but sneer, "Humph, damn, they run fast." The source of the sirens came to Ash and his friends. A pretty girl was followed by a crocodile. After seeing Ash and his friends, she frowned and said, "What are you doing in the Pokémon Reserve? Don't you know that it is forbidden to enter here?" When Ash saw her, he first pulled away Zio Gang, who was about to go up to show his courtesy, and then said, "Are you the MT, Silver Pokémon Protection Officer, Miss Muto?" After seeing her nod, Ash took out his Pokémon Investigator badge. "I am Ash, and I am here to escort this Larvitar back to the MT Silver Reserve on behalf of Professor Elm. As you can see, although the poachers have been caught, there is no guarantee that there will not be a second or third batch in the future. Although this is a natural environment, there will always be a time when they are understood. Poachers will definitely do whatever it takes for their own benefit. I think, as a Pokémon Protection Officer, you don't want to see the mother and son of Bangira being hurt again." After Larvitar reunited with his mother, he looked at Ash and his Bangilla reluctantly. I will add more about the follow-up of this story in the next chapter. You may also guess what kind of opportunity it will be. How could the machine I invented be? In this case, take this opportunity to catch them all in one fell swoop. After saying that, Ash asked Bangilla, "How is it, did you find it?" "Bangira." Bangira's mother spoke to Ash and then pointed in a direction. In this way, the action of the 3 Hunter brothers was officially declared bankrupt. Bangilla, destroy the Death Ray. To be continued. I have said long ago that your behavior of hurting Pokémon will never be forgiven. After hearing Ash's words, Miss Muto was silent. It was indeed as he said. If there really was a next time, even if she tried her best, could she still protect them? The voice deep in her heart told her that she couldn't. "Okay, boss." Miss Muto nodded. "Yes, these poaching groups often operate in the jungle area. I have always been troubled by them and have no way to deal with them." Before the 3 Hunter brothers could react, they felt that they were tied up and then they were pushed to the ground. The hot air balloon was also destroyed by Ash's Bangilla and Larvitar's mother was successfully rescued. Following Bangilla's direction, Ash and his friends quickly found the location of the 3 Hunter brothers. "Miss Muto, I want to make a request." Just when Chick was about to press the button, suddenly, with a boom, their machine exploded. Their purpose was simple. They wanted to use this machine to hold Ash and the others, and then they could leave safely on the hot air balloon. Bangira's mother and son Zai has officially joined the team. Bangilla sniffed and asked, nodding. Ash frowned. Could it be that there was something else going on here? Pokémon like Bangilla has a very strong sense of smell, and Bangilla is also at the top of the food chain in the MT Silver Reserve. Larvitar can find his mother by smell, and Ash's Bangilla is of course no exception. "What request?" So it's you, Ash, I've heard about you. Is this the Larvitar? Miss Muto saw the depressed Larvitar at Ash's feet. What happened to it? I want to take this mother and son to Professor Oak. Before she could say anything, Ash explained, I know this is a bit abrupt, but I said this after careful consideration. We just fought with those poaching gangs. Their firepower is not weak and they are very good at taking advantage of opportunities. Larvitar's mother was captured by Sucker Punch when we were not paying attention, and when you rushed here they also ran very fast. However, the three Hunter brothers did not stand on the machine but on a hot air balloon hanging upside down on the hot air balloon, which made people feel distressed. Chick, hold them. Larvitar's mother was captured by the poaching group, Misty explained. It turned out that while the mechanical arm was blown to pieces, Ash's momentum had already condensed to the highest point. If someone looked carefully, they would find that red patterns appeared on Ash's body, and then he touched his fists and strode over. His right fist, wrapped in the waveguide powerful contest condition, hit the machine, and then there was the deafening sound. Silver Conference gradually opened Veilstone. Bangilla opened his mouth and an orange light blew the two arms to pieces. Ash was about to cooperate with her. Miss Muto, do these poaching groups often operate in this area? Judging from their actions, they should be habitual offenders. The little chick ignored him, took out the remote control, pressed a button, and the machine extended its mechanical arms again, heading towards Pikachu and Croconaw. You'd better let Bangilla go or I'll make you regret it, Ash said, his aura gradually rising. Ash, are you okay? Hey, I'm fine, Misty. Look, I'm fine, aren't I? Ash remembered the cave that Bangilla's mother had pointed out to him, which was his opportunity. First, through that test, his wave power unlocked a new use. When he used it for strength, the wave power would turn into a power mode, that is, the red and blue wave power mentioned in the previous chapter. And when he used it for speed and gentleness, the wave power would turn into pure blue, emitting unparalleled power. In that test, he used the newly advanced pure blue power to purify the evil guardian spirit there, and also got a treasure Bangilla Mega Evolution Stone. In addition, the Bangilla mother and son were successfully brought to Professor Oak's backyard. In short, this trip to MT Silver was full of gains. Perhaps this Mega Evolution Stone will become a trick in the future. Ash and his group went down the mountain from another road in the Pokémon Reserve, and soon they arrived at Silver Town. Before he got close, he saw a lot of people gathered in the distance. Ash was very curious, so he walked up, patted the shoulder of the person closest to him, and asked 460, Hey man, what happened here? What else could it be? Of course, we are here to see the Holy Fire. The Holy Fire of the Pokémon Silver Conference. It turned out that the temple surrounded by everyone was called Ho-Oh Temple. The Holy Fire of Silver and Gold started from here and was brought to the venue of the Silver Conference by Holy Fire runners. If that's the case, it's no wonder that everyone would gather here to wait. After all, who doesn't want to see such a sacred moment? But speaking of the Holy Fire, Ash remembered that this Holy Fire also caused a storm. In the original book, the Holy Fire was stolen by a group of wild Sneasel. In order to find the Holy Fire within the specified time, Ash and his friends helped enthusiastically. It was at this time that Ash met the rival of this Silver Conference, Yue. Yue is a trainer from Hone. If he was the one who impressed him the most, it was probably his Earl Dervish Pokémon, Blaziken, as one of the 3 Fire-type Pokémon of Hone, dragged down Ash's trump card Pokémon Charizard. Why do we say dragged down? Because in the last battle, when Charizard used Seismic Toss on Blaziken, Blaziken used Flamethrower to slow down the falling speed so it could still stand up. This operation can only be said to be good luck, to be continued. I guess he must be Yue, Ash thought. Hello, I am also participating in the Silver Conference. If there is anything, I can also provide help. Ash stepped forward and said to the staff member. Seeing them, the staff hurriedly asked, What's wrong? Why is it so long? Did something happen? Misty was puzzled. It was a bit abnormal that the Holy Flame had not come out until now. As a result, Misty's Togepi took this opportunity to sneak in through the courtyard door that was opened a crack. Pikachu followed him and Eevee quickly pulled Ash's trouser legs. Yes, I'm also glad to meet you, Ash. My name is Yue and I'm a trainer from Pallet Town. Are you kidding? How can we deal with such a dangerous guy? It's okay, just pay attention next time. Ash, let's go and take a look. Ash, Misty pushed Ash, who was thinking, and he finally reacted. Speaking of the Holy Flame, if I remember correctly, Kanto's Holy Flame is guarded by molters. After seeing these two trainers, Ash shook his head slightly. Such a mentality would not pose a threat to him at all. Just then, two trainers came out with their Pokémon on their backs. Silver Conference is about to begin. Excuse me, what happened here? Xiaogang, who caught up later, asked with concern. It seems that the dangerous guy just now should be the reason why the Holy Flame has not arrived. This kind of thing I still don't think too much. Since I have traveled through time, I must make up for the regret and win the championship. Fortunately, other staff members stopped Pikachu and Togepi, and Ash and Misty also picked them up. The staff member was about to explain the reason when another trainer came in. What's more, the current strength is much stronger than the original. There are at least two Pokémon that can Mega Evolve, and there are also Pokémon that can bond. Charizard and Pikachu have partnered with him, and the three starters have completed their final evolution. With the return of old friends, if he can't win the championship, he might as well find a piece of tofu to kill himself. It was indeed him. Ash smiled and said, "Hello, my name is Ash, a trainer from Pallet Town. Nice to meet you." But the group waited for a long time and did not see the Holy Flame sent out from the temple. We are here to participate in the Silver Conference. What should we do if our Pokémon is injured? The original Ash had the honor of participating in the Holy Flame Relay of the Indigo Plateau Conference. At that time, the Rocket Trio wanted Snatch's Holy Flame but was beaten away by the cremated molters. But Ash knew that at this time it was estimated that some staff would come out to explain the situation. It looks like you are in trouble. If you don't mind, I'm happy to help you. That's great. I have something I want to ask you for help. To be honest, we have asked many trainers before, but they all ran away like the two trainers just now. One of the staff members at the door was sharp-eyed and found them and chased after them. On the other side, Ash also noticed this and followed with Misty. The two boys shook hands with each other and exchanged glances. It is estimated that there will be a good fight when they meet at the Silver Conference. Although Ash stopped in the quarterfinals, Yi Yue was not much better. He was eliminated in the semifinals. The reason is very simple. Blaziken did not recover the contest condition. None of the Pokémon he captured in the Johto region could take the lead. He was controlled by a Rapidash. As expected, two staff members ran out with bitter faces. Sorry to have kept you waiting for so long. The flame may take some time to come out. Please wait patiently. The boy looked a few years older than Ash, and there was a Houndoom with him. Ash could tell at a glance that the strength of this Houndoom was definitely not low. Okay, such a scene. Of course we have to take a good look. Sorry our Pokémon has caused you trouble. Excuse me, who are you? In order to verify his guess, Ash stepped forward and asked the Holy Flame of the Silver Conference is gone. After Ash and his group arrived at Silver Town, they could have seen the Holy Flame coming out when they passed a temple, but they waited for a long time but it didn't come out. Ash and his group, who were puzzled, asked about it when Togepi and Pikachu were caught by the staff when they tried to sneak in. At the same time, Yi Yue, who came after hearing the news, also joined them. The staff took them to a tall stone staircase. There is a shrine on this stone staircase and the holy fire is stored in that shrine, but, the staff member paused, there are wild Sneasels near the shrine that won't leave. Ash and his friends have seen Pokémon like Sneasel before. During the Celebi incident, they saw a modified Sneasel with claws so sharp that it could slash the cage that trapped Bangilla. The evolved Weevil is also very powerful. After evolution, it has both ice type and can fight in more ways. It can use special attack skills such as freezing rays and blizzard. In the original book, Alan's Weevil once defeated Ash's Noivern, which is a pity. When he heard that there was a Sneasel here, Yi Yue's eyes lit up. Sneasel is really here. Ash looked at Yi Yue with a little doubt. It's like this. I've always heard that there are wild Sneasels living in MT Silver, so I wanted to come here to see if I could subdue 10 of them. Yi Yue explained. The problem lies with this Sneasel. It has a strong sense of territory. As long as someone approaches the Ancestral Hall, it will be attacked by it. We have tried to get the Holy Fire many times, but the result is that more people are injured. It can be seen that the Sneasel here is also a headache for the staff. Not only that, it has also subjugated Machop and Machoke as subordinates, so we asked Pokémon Trainer for help, but no one helped us successfully get the Holy Fire. That's easy, we just go in and get it out. Ash and Yi Yue looked at each other and nodded. Ash's words were purely to get the Holy Fire back, and Yi Yue wanted to subjugate Sneasel. The stairs were very high and Misty was exhausted. But fortunately, with everyone's persistence and hard work, they finally reached the top of the mountain. After the water ball and the shadow ball collided, the smoke from the explosion also pushed Sneasel back several meters. While he was confused, Ash had already used confusion to take down the Holy Flame. And on the open wings of Ho-Oh, there was a golden basin filled with holy fire. The difference between this holy fire and the holy fire in Kanto was that the light of the flame faintly emitted a golden light. What appeared in front of everyone was a Pokémon that they had never seen before. It was tall and mighty, and there were flames on its wrists. On the other side, Yi Yue's battle to conquer Sneasel has also ended. In this duel, Ash can see at a glance that Blaziken has completely suppressed Sneasel in terms of both qualifications and attributes. In this way, Sneasel was conquered by Yi Yue and Ash successfully retrieved the Holy Flame. As for Machop and Machoke, in order to make up for their mistakes, they were guarded by the Alliance. Oh, it's Blaziken. Is this your Earl Dervish Pokémon, Yi Yue? As a time traveler and Pokémon fan, Yi Yue recognized Yi Yue's Pokémon at a glance. Corsola, use Spike Cannon. How could Sneasel tolerate Rival's power trip? He kicked his feet and the claws on his right hand shone with a metallic light and hit Eevee. Eevee, bouncy bubble. Eevee, use Swift. They are Sneasel's men. I didn't expect that you even know Blaziken from Fengyuan. Yi Yue couldn't help but look at him with a high opinion of him. Ash, do you know this Pokémon? While being beaten back, Sneasel's claws had condensed into a dark sphere which turned out to be a shadow ball. While the two attacks devoured them, Ash hurried into the Ancestral Hall. After Ash came out with the Holy Flame, Misty and Yi Yue had already dealt with Machop and Machoke. After Yi Yue saw Sneasel, he came in front of him and threw a Pokémon ball. Go, Blaziken. Sneasel looked at the little guy with a disdainful smile, stretched out his claws and waved gently. It was obviously taunt. To be continued. Eevee waved his tail and countless stars hit Sneasel. Sneasel Song Yan raised his arms to block the attack. You Pokémon don't have martial ethics, dare to sneak attack? Ash snapped his right fingers and Eevee jumped out. Suddenly, a sharp claw attacked Ash and Ash stepped back slightly to avoid the attack. Ash was the first to climb up, and when he looked up, he saw a hand knife slashing at him. Well, Blaziken is one of the 3 fire-type starters in Fengyuan region, the fire-type and the fighting-type. In addition, there are the grass-type Sceptile and the water-type Swampert, but our Kanto Pokédex has not yet included them. Yi Yue was not to be outdone. Houndoom Flamethrower. The Holy Flame Relay ceremony is about to begin and the Silver Conference is about to kick off Veilstone. A Pokémon that I have never seen before, very handsome, Misty said with a fangirl look. But it was crazy and Eevee was even crazier. It was not affected at all but stretched out its hind legs to scratch its body and it looked very comfortable as if it didn't take Sneasel seriously at all. The purpose of this trip was to retrieve the Holy Fire. When he opened the door he saw the statue of Ho-Oh with its wings spread out lifelike and full of vigor. Ash smiled slightly, stretched out his right hand and blocked the attack just in time. Everyone hurriedly followed and found Machoke and Machop guarding the mountain gate. After Eevee felt the momentum, he immediately jumped back, leaving a Sneasel claw mark where he was standing. For this kind of battle, Eevee is more than enough. Zioageng, help me take care of Tojbi. Misty stepped forward. Ash, leave this to me. Go ahead, Corsola. After the torch was safely delivered, the Silver Conference torch relay ceremony began. After watching the first trainer leave at the starting point, Yi Yue looked at Ash. Ash, are you going to participate in the Silver Conference too? Yes, you too. Yi Yue nodded. Yes, Ash, then the next time we meet it may be at the Silver Conference. After that, Yi Yue said goodbye to the group and went to the venue with his Houndoom. Ash looked at his back and murmured, when we meet again, let's have a battle without regrets. To be honest, he is bound to win the championship of this silver conference, and judging from their quality, they are all relatively good trainers. After all, there is a selection meeting before the silver conference, which is equivalent to a selection meeting. The final 48 people are selected from more than 200 players. It can be said that the big waves are washing away the sand. After Yue left, Ash and his group arrived at Silver Town after a while. After arriving at the Pokémon Center, they completed the last procedure for participating in the Silver Conference. The rest is to wait for the start of the Silver Conference, but when they went out, Ash unexpectedly ran into an acquaintance, Gary. "Oh Ash, long time no see," Gary greeted him warmly after seeing him. Zyoging Misty stood beside him. "Everyone will change, Ash, you have to work hard at this conference." Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, Pidgeot, Kingler, Muck, Tauros, Infernape, Snorlax, Lapras, Meganium, Typhlosion, Feraligatr. Vileplume, Houndoom, Hounder, Owl, Flash, Ponyta, Balram, Slowking, Possum, Murkrow, Heracross, Yangyangma, Alakazam, Kirlia, Swinub, Alola, Ninetales, Rhydon, Phanpy, Bangira, Dratini, Larvitar, plus Pikachu and Eevee. Ash smiled. "Okay, maybe we will meet in the championship battle." After Gary left, Ash said with emotion, "Remember when this kid first started, he was driving a luxury car with a beautiful woman. Now he has changed a lot. Ash, do your best in the Silver Conference, I will watch your game." The sudden question caught Gary off guard. According to his previous understanding of him, he should have said something like, "I will definitely be the champion this time." After arriving at a relatively spacious place, Ash released them. They high-fived each other. Gary and Ash are both rivals and friends. Ash looked at him. "Why are you determined to win?" "Well, Professor, please send all my Pokémon over this time." "I must go all out this time." "That's right, this Silver Conference is very important." Ash is afraid of any mistakes, so he is still fully prepared. But recalling the battle in the backyard of Professor Oak's laboratory, he felt that Ash had changed. Now he was sure that Ash had really changed. "Oh Ash, it seems that you have arrived at Silver Town." Professor Oak spoke first after seeing Ash over there. The room Ash and his friends stayed in was a sea view room. Looking out the window was a sea, which was perfect for Misty. Speaking of Ash's rivals, Gary is the most important one. It can be said that Gary also indirectly influenced Ash during the Kanto and Johto region plots. "Ash, you have really changed a lot," Gary replied. "We didn't meet at the Indigo Plateau Conference last time. Let's decide the winner at Yinshuiyu this time." After arranging everything, Ash came to the Pokémon Center and called Professor Tiankun. Then, under the leadership of Zyoging, Ash and his team came to the athletes' village, which was provided for the athletes participating in this conference. Later, Gary decided to change his direction and decided to become a researcher. From then on, he never returned. The next time they met was in the Sinnoh region. "Of course, I am very confident. Everyone come out." Ash also readily agreed to this. "Okay, what Pokémon do you need?" Looking at Ash, Gary suddenly said seriously, "Ash, this time I bet everything on this conference. The goal is to win the championship." With countless flashes of light, Ash's team has assembled. However, as the grandson of Professor Oak, he was a bit miserable. He was eliminated after only reaching the top 32 in the Indigo Plateau Conference. He met Ash in the top 16 in the Silver Conference and ended there. In addition to Scizor, who has not yet returned from his studies, there are a total of 36 Pokémon ready to participate in this Silver Conference. "Okay, Professor, I am confident that I can win the championship this time." After a long process, Professor Oak finally sent all the Pokémon over. It is worth mentioning that on the way to the athletes' village, Ash was arranged by Grandpa Damalenki, the person in charge of the Silver Conference and the chairman of the Alliance Executive Committee who manages the Sacred Flame, to be the runner of the Sacred Flame of this Silver Conference. Professor Oak nodded. "Okay, wait 10 times. After settling his Pokémon, Ash was ready to participate in the selection meeting. Silver Conference is a very prestigious competition with more than 200 people signing up for it. If everyone participates, I am afraid that they will not be able to win the championship even if they fight for 3 days and 3 nights. Therefore, before the Silver Conference there is another selection meeting, the purpose of which is to test the level of this year's trainers. After all, if there is a fight between noobs, the audience will not be able to watch it. At the selection meeting, each trainer can only take out one Pokémon, so they must take the Pokémon they trust the most and have the strongest strength. Looking around, Feraligatr, Ursaring, Nidoking, Meganium, Donphin, every Pokémon looks energetic and in good contest condition. Basically, everyone has 3 battle opportunities, and it is said that it depends on the battle performance. Even if you lose 10 times and say you don't want to leave, you can still participate in the preliminaries. Zaya Ageng introduced with the guidebook. In other words, as long as you get the referee's approval in the battle, you may still enter the preliminaries even if you lose all. Of course, if you really lose all, even trainer himself will be too embarrassed to participate. Pallet Town Ash, Cherry Grove City Salvador, please enter the C venue immediately. At this time, the broadcast notified Ash to participate in the 24th selection meeting, and the group hurried to the venue. By the way, in this one-on-one battle, who will attack first will be determined by the computer. But as we all know, the one who takes out the Pokémon first, normal, will not have an advantage. But this time, luck is not on Ash's side. He was chosen to attack first. The game begins. Pikachu, it's decided that you will be the first. For this kind of game, it is still the most secure to send Pikachu, and compared with the original work, Pikachu's strength has increased visibly. I'll send you for the first battle, my most trusted Pokémon Furret. Salvador sent Furret, a normal type from the Johto region. It's Furret, I thought he sent out a ground type. Misty was relieved. If that was the case, Ash would be easier to beat. But what she didn't know was that even if the opponent sent out a ground type, Ash would not be afraid because now Pikachu has a move that restrains the ground type. Ash, don't take it lightly, Xiaogang reminded. I know, Ash nodded. It's time to attack. Pikachu use quick attack. Furret dig to avoid it. Furret's speed was very fast. Just when Pikachu was about to hit him, Furret had already drilled into the ground, but Ash was waiting for you to dig. Pikachu, Iron Tail, attack ground to knock it out. Pikachu jumped up and its lightning-like tail hit the ground directly, and Furret was knocked out with a painful look on his face. Take advantage of this moment, use Electro Ball. Pikachu, a yellow Electro Ball hit Furret's body and he instantly lost his ability to fight. Furret loses the ability to fight, Pikachu wins. In the following matches, although Rival attacked first, Ash did not directly use the Pokémon that restrained Rival but sent out Yangyangma and Murkrow, and naturally won. In this way, Ash won all 3 games and had no problem entering the preliminaries. On the big screen of the Pokémon Center, the rollout was broadcasting the trainers who successfully passed the selection meeting. Ash, you passed? The sharp-eyed Misty saw the first few pictures of Ash's head. Next, they also saw that Gary and Yi Yue also passed the selection meeting. In addition, they also found a few acquaintances of Ash. Congratulations, Ash! Mr. Woma Lanxian appeared behind Ash. It's not easy to enter the finals of the Silver Conference next, so Mr. Damalenki popularized the knowledge of the Silver Conference to Ash and others. The preliminaries were 3-person, and the trainer with the most victory points could participate in the final championship. The finals were fierce competitions between the 16 people who won the preliminaries beautifully. Thank you for telling me this, Mr. Damalenki. I'm a little excited now. That night, after confirming that Ash was the last torch runner, Ash and Pikachu went for a walk by the lake when they had nothing to do. Lache's infantile cannon accompanied him. Time flies, Pikachu. We will definitely win the Silver Conference Championship this time. Pikachu. At this time, Lache's patted Ash on the shoulder, and in the direction he pointed, he saw a familiar figure, Gary. Gary. It turned out to be Ash. Congratulations, you became the last torch runner. It seems that your habit of showing off has not changed. Hee, you can't say that. This is a very honorable thing. After smiling at each other, Gary looked at the moon in the sky. When I left Pallet Town, the moon was like this on the first night. Really? Ash vaguely remembered that on the first day, because of his immaturity, he actually challenged Bobo alone and injured Pikachu, so that he spent the first night in Pokémon Center that day. When recalling it later, if it weren't for that time, I'm afraid that I and Pikachu would not have reached the level of tacit understanding of spiritual communication. It's incredible. If I didn't see such a moon that night, maybe the road would have changed. Everyone will go to different paths, and there will always be infinite possibilities in the future. Ash replied, Gary, while we are young, do more things. Sometimes just a hesitation may miss a good opportunity to transform yourself. Hearing this, Gary stood up. Ash, I hope that when we meet again it will be in the finals. At that time I will prove to you that I am the champion. Then I look forward to meeting you in the finals, but I will be the champion. The next day, accompanied by the sound of gongs and drums and firecrackers, the Silver Conference's torch finally started. The main venue of the Silver Conference, the Silver Stadium, was completely full, and everyone couldn't wait for the opening ceremony and the entry of the athletes. The Johto Region Alliance Silver Conference is full of powerful trainers. The collision of strength, wisdom, and tricks, who will stand out and win the final championship? Let's look forward to the fierce competition together. According to the latest information, the torch runner holding the Ho-Oh torch has entered Silver Town. The players are entering the venue one after another. Let's wait for the last torch runner. Oh, here he is. He is the player Ash from Pallet Town. Following the introduction of the host, Ash entered the venue as the last torch runner. Delia, Professor Oak, Professor Elm, and Mitsumi looked at Ash's back in front of the TV and felt proud. The Pokémon Ho-Oh, who quelled the war and brought life back to the land and forest, is now being brought to the torch stand at the Silver Conference Stadium. As Ash stepped onto the torch stand, he lit the torch. The Silver Conference officially kicked off. After the opening ceremony, the preliminary match schedule was released. After returning to the Pokémon Center in the Player Village, the selection meeting and preliminary match schedule will appear on the big screen in the center of the Pokémon Center. Ash, you are in Group H. Misty saw Ash's position at first glance. In the same group with Ash, there is a girl and a boy. The girl is a little older than Ash and the boy is a little older than Ash. In other words, as long as he defeats the two people in the same group, Ash can advance to the final tournament. Ash is still confident about this. After watching, Ash and his group left the Pokémon Center and met a girl with Vulpix on the road. Who are you? Ash looked at her as if she was waiting for him. I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Wait, you're not the Stephanie in my group, are you? It seems that your memory is pretty good. That Stephanie let out a long sigh, fearing that Ash would forget by accident. Let me introduce myself, I'm Macy from your group rival. But I always feel that you lack a sense of nervousness. After the contest category, the battle between us also began. Oh, so you came here to get information from me. Of course, I came to see clearly what kind of enemy my rival is. Macy thought she was very smart, but what she didn't know was that even if she didn't come, Ash knew that he could find the information of rival in his group in every trainer's computer. Thinking of this, Ash smiled. In that case, if we meet in the preliminaries, let's have a battle without regrets. After saying that, he went back without waiting for her response. On the way back, they happened to meet the Rocket Trio who were working in the food court, but Ash did not expose them. First, they did not do anything bad, and second, he had a feeling that something would be missing without the three of them in the future journey. After Ash and his group returned to the room, they began to check Macy's information. So that's it, the Pokémon Macy uses are all Fire-type. Zyogeng found Macy's information on the computer. Since the opponent uses Fire-type, then Water-type ones will do. Misty seemed to have a lot of experience in dealing with Fire-type Pokémon, but Ash shook his head. I think the opponent is definitely not a trainer who only uses Fire-type tilde. As he said, he scrolled down Macy's page. Sure enough, among the Pokémon she registered, there was an Electabuzz, which meant that she was well prepared. In this regard, Ash also recalled that when he fought against her in the original book, he did not think of this, and then he suffered a loss at the beginning. That is, when he took out Kingler, he was tricked by the opponent's Electabuzz. In fact, there is another point. Ash in the original book is a bit naive. He thought that only water can restrain fire, but he didn't know that there is more than one way to deal with fire. Sure enough, all the trainers who can make it to the preliminaries are not simple. That's right, if all water teams are sent out, they will be passive. Misty's reason gradually smelling salts came over. Zyogeng, please help me register these three Pokémon. Ash smiled. The next day, the game will start. Dear audience friends, the preliminary Group H game is about to start. Who will be the first to attack? The way to decide the first to attack in this preliminary game is also relatively fair. It is carried out in a roulette way, but Ash is still relatively lucky. Macy is the first to attack. Ash, I won't hold back, Macy said with great fighting spirit. I'm going to attack and I'll use you first. With a flash of white light, Slugma was sent out, which was also the pre-evolution form of Ash's giant Magcargo. In this case, it's decided to be you, Phanpy. The first Pokémon Ash sent out was Phanpy. What? She took out Slugma in order to guide Ash to send out water-type Pokémon, but she didn't expect that Ash wouldn't buy it at all. Don't be distracted during the battle, Phanpy, use rollout. Phanpy shrank into a ball and rushed towards the lava at high speed. Slugma, get out of the way! Macy was surprised to see Ash's Phanpy rollout was so fast, so she quickly ordered Slugma to dodge, but Slugma was so slow that even if he dodged once, he was not so lucky the second time and was knocked out. Use Flamethrower quickly. After Slugma stabilized his body, he spit out a powerful flamethrower, but Ash and Phanpy did not panic at all. Phanpy, just roll out and rush forward. Phanpy also listened to Ash's words and rushed forward with Flamethrower. Bang! Rollout is a move that becomes stronger the more it rolls, and with the blessing of Flamethrower, Slugma fell directly. Slugma loses his ability to fight and Phanpy wins. So that's it, use the power of Rollout to cover the body with Flamethrower, and then when you hit it, it will cause double damage. Xiaogang saw Ash's idea at a glance. Come back, Slugma! After Macy took back Slugma, she was ready to send out the second Pokémon. Ash, you are really powerful, but I will not give up easily. I will use you next. This time it was the Electabuzz that appeared in the data. As expected by Ash, she had this Electabuzz in her hand, and when the opponent sent out a water-type Pokémon, she sent out Electabuzz to counter it. Come back, Phanpy! Just now, Phanpy had caused some damage after holding off Flamethrower, so for the sake of safety, she took it back. It's decided to be you, Larvitar. The reason why Ash let Larvitar play was more to let it feel the atmosphere of the battle in advance, which would be beneficial for the training later. Electabuzz, use Iron Tail! Macy's Electabuzz learned this move to prevent the opponent from sending out Rock-type or Ground-type Pokémon. Larvitar, use Screech. Larvitar's uproar was very loud when he was born, so Ash taught him this move. The unpleasant noise forced Electabuzz to stop and cover his ears in pain. Oh my god, Ash's Larvitar's screech is so torturous that I can't help but cover my ears. Electabuzz, cheer up! Macy also covered her ears and said as hard as she could. Now Larvitar hidden power. Several white light balls hit Electabuzz's body, and with a boom, Electabuzz's eyes also became mosquito coils. Electabuzz loses the ability to fight, Larvitar wins. I didn't expect that after 2 battles, Macy only has 1 Pokémon left while Ash still has 3 Pokémon available. Electabuzz, you have tried your best. After Macy took back Electabuzz, she still did not show the expression of giving up but decisively took out her last Pokémon. I will never give up, go. Quilave. Ash can see that this Pokémon must be the Earl Dervish Pokémon that Macy got when she first traveled. If it is a comparison of hard strength, Macy's strength is not as good as Ash's, but she doesn't want to lose like this, good Li Zhao. Even if she loses, she has to lose in a grand manner. In this case, Ash took back Larvitar. It's decided to be you, Houndour. This Houndour is the new leader selected after the Dog King, and its strength is also very strong. Macy, let's fight a battle without regrets. Houndour Fire Fang. After avoiding it, use Flame Wheel. Flame Wheel is a must-have move for the Cyndaquil clan. When it hit Houndour, Houndour did not show any pain but stared at Quilava with bright eyes. Why is it ineffective? I forgot to mention that my Houndour's ability is Flash Fire. When you use fire moves, it will absorb the flames and enhance its own fire moves. Ash popularized the knowledge of ability. It's time to end Houndour Fire Fang. The Fire Fang with enhanced power bit Quilava's body, and Quilava cried out in pain. The last blow, surprisingly. With this blow, Quilava also lost his ability to fight. In this way, Ash's first game ended with a single victory. After Ash's match, he didn't rush back. Instead, he wanted to watch the performance of his other rival. But now, he still had to think about the points. According to the rules, a victory over a rival would earn 3 points, a defeat would earn no points, and a tie would earn 1 point each. After 3 matches, whoever had the highest points would enter the final tournament. Now, Ash had already scored 3 points, and it was up to Macy to play against the boy. The second match of the preliminary Alliance group was between Macy, who had just played, and Ash, and the others were destined to watch this match because in the next match Ash would play against him. But what he never expected was that the appearance of this boy was really a bit. "Vincent from New Bark Town is here." Then, a boy appeared in front of the camera wearing a cape, looking very funny. Ash twisted his mouth, hoping that he wouldn't be like this when he played against him, otherwise he would have to choose a way to show himself that was 10,000 times cooler than him. To deal with such a person, either ignore him or be more immature than him. Obviously, Ash inherited the weird idea from his previous life, which is why he has such an extremely unreliable idea. In the following battle, Ash confirmed that Vincent was a little bit stupid, because he actually sent out a water formation, namely Golduck, Quagsire, and Frog. The difference is that Macy's team did not have Electabuzz this time but used a Starmie instead, which was also chosen to prevent the opponent from sending out Rock. It seems that she just has a preference for fire and she is not a dedicated fire trainer. What surprised her a little was that her Slugma evolved into Magcargo. After a battle, both sides had one Pokémon left. The remaining two Pokémon were Macy's Quilava and Vincent's Frog. "Even if it's a water type, I will do my best to fight to the end." Maybe it was influenced by Ash and he was not afraid of the reverse attribute. Quilava used Flamethrower. But at this moment, something ridiculous happened. Vincent smiled confidently and swung his cloak behind him. Just as he was about to give an order, he accidentally tripped over his cloak. After hearing the noise, the frog looked back. Because of this, it was smashed against the wall by Quilava's attack and lost its ability to fight. When Vincent reacted, he had already lost the first battle. The frog lost its ability to fight, Quilava won, and the winner is Macy. In this way, Ash and Macy each got 3 points, and the last battle with Vincent, even if it was a tie, could enter the final tournament. But for Ash, a tie was absolutely impossible. In the process of returning to the Pokémon Center, Ash recalled the battle with Vincent in the original book. In the original work, Vincent knew that this might be his last battle, so he tried his best. He sent out 3 Pokémon. The most difficult one was Flash's Magneton, but it defeated Pikachu and Cyndaquil one after another and his Earl Dervish Pokémon, Meganium. However, it is worth studying that at that time, Ash's Bulbasaur first defeated Magneton and then fought with Meganium. Both of them were injured and the battle ended in a draw. Then the question is, if it was Bulbasaur with sufficient physical strength, that is, it did not fight with Magneton, would it have a chance to defeat Meganium? You know, this Bulbasaur suppressed its own evolution, otherwise, at the time of the Silver Conference, even if it was not Venusaur, Ivysaur would be the bottom line. However, according to the original book, Ash's fighting style is very likely to not be able to exert its due strength after evolution. For details, please refer to Sinnoh's Torterra, jokingly called Cannon Gray. Ash, what are you thinking about? We have arrived at the Pokémon Center. Misty watched Ash bow his head and ponder along the way and thought that he was thinking about the game and didn't bother him, but now that they were about to arrive at the Pokémon Center, Misty couldn't help but tell him out loud. Nothing, the main thing is to think about the next battle lineup. Ash found a suitable excuse to prevaricate. After arriving at the Pokémon Center, Ash happened to see Professor Jun and Professor of Aerial Arts talking on the phone. "Professor Elm?" Ash walked over and greeted Professor Elm. "It's Ash. I've already learned about Larvitar. Don't worry, Miss Muto will talk it through at the reserve." Vincent turned around and saw, "It's you, you're Ash from Pallet Town. I've heard Professor Elm mention you. You're awesome. Let me introduce myself. I'm Vincent from New Bark Town." Ash shook hands with Vincent. "So you know Professor Elm. Nice to meet you." Ash looked at him and found that he was a little older than Casey. Later, he learned from his own account that his Earl Dervish Pokémon was also Chikorita. The 2 trainers who started out at the same time as him had already participated in the previous Silver Conference, but he was 1 session late. He didn't know what happened to him. "I heard that your Chikorita has evolved into Meganium. But I didn't see it just now. Of course, I wanted to save my strength for the final tournament, so I didn't use Meganium." Ash shook his head speedlessly, first pulled off his cloak and said, "Please, don't make excuses for your failure, okay? You must have checked Macy's information before. Meganium is completely restrained in attribute, so you didn't choose to send it to fight." And next time, don't do this kind of fancy things. If it weren't for your own mistake in the last battle, your mosquito frog wouldn't have been killed by the fire rat in 10 moves. Also, when fighting me, use all your strength. After all, you have no way out. After saying that, he threw the cape and covered Vincent's head. Ash said goodbye to Professor Elm on the phone and the group left. After Vincent took off the cape, he found that Ash had left. Looking at his back, something kept flashing in his eyes. The third match of Group H is about to begin. The two players are Ash from Pallet Town and Vincent from New Bark Town. This match is crucial because it determines who will be the trainer in Group H who will make it to the final tournament. Here, I would like to explain to you the current points of the three players. Ash has 3 points, Vincent has 0 points, and Macy has 3 points, and all of Macy's matches have ended. That is to say, if Ash wins this match or draws with Vincent, he will become the winner of Group H and enter the final tournament. And if Vincent wins, then all 3 players will have 3 points and one more round will be needed until the winner is decided. It can be said that for Vincent, he can only keep the suspense by doing his best to win this match. So what is the result? Let's wait and see. Driven by the enthusiastic mood of the host on the scene, Ash and Vincent entered the competition venue one after another. By tossing a coin, Ash attacked first in this match. This should be a fairer way, so I quote it here, please don't mind. It is worth mentioning that in this game, Vincent did not wear his cape. It seems that he also knows that he has no way out. After seeing his performance, Ash also smiled and nodded. It seems that you are ready, so let's have a battle without regrets. It's decided to be you, Heracross. As the first Pokémon captured in the Johto region, Ash is very confident in its strength. In addition, he heard that it has learned a lot from Infernape, so now is the time to test the results. Go, Azumarill! The level and qualifications of this Azumarill are much higher than the previous 3 water Pokémon, and Azumarill also has fairy type. It's just that Azumarill has not shown it yet. The game begins. Take the initiative, Heracross, use Night Slash. The insect wings behind Heracross spread out, and the claws on his right hand flashed purple light, heading towards Azumarill. If he was hit, the damage would be huge. Azumarill use Water Gun. Fly up. At the same time, Azumarill used Water Gun, Heracross suddenly changed direction and flew towards soaring in the sky, and Azumarill's attack missed. Azumarill also reacted quickly and adjusted the direction of Water Gun directly. Heracross flew flexibly. During this process, Heracross got closer and closer to Mary. Seeing that the situation was not good, Vincent directly ordered Azumarill use Icy Wind. The cold wind came towards Heracross, but Heracross dodged it again and took advantage of this opportunity to stretch out his right claw and hit Azumarill's belly. Pick it up and use close combat. Heracross's insect horn immediately lifted Azumarill into the air, and he continued to attack with his claws and insect horns. If you look closely, the attack trajectory is also very similar to a triangle. This is the close combat triangle attack style that Heracross has mastered alone. As for the effect, you can see it by looking at Junju's surprised face. The last blow, the Destruction Death Beam. The Destruction Death Beam hit Azumarill at close range, and Azumarill fell to the ground without any chance to resist. Azumarill loses the ability to fight, and Heracross wins. It's really amazing. Heracross close combat is simply unsolvable. The triangle trajectory just now is also an all-round attack. It can be imagined that Ash's training method is very unique. Ash smiled. This was largely the result of Heracross's own efforts. It was not surprising to have such a result. You have tried your best. After Vincent took back Azumarill, he prepared to send out his next Pokémon, but I will not lose this game. Go Magneton. Vincent's Magneton is very special. Compared with the normal Magneton, it does not have red and blue poles. Its whole body is metallic silver gray. It seems that this is a flash Pokémon. Come back, Heracross? Ash took back the Heracross and looked at this Magneton. I was tricked by it in my previous life. This time I will definitely not fall into the trap. Houndoom, it's decided to be you. As soon as the Dog King Houndoom came out, everyone present could feel a depressing atmosphere. So Ash also has Houndoom and it looks a little stronger than mine. Yue, who had finished his game, couldn't help but sigh after seeing this. Magneton used Thunderbolt. Houndoom Flamethrower. Since Entei was captured by Ash, it has been responsible for training Fire-type Pokémon, Houndoom being one of them, but the effect is also very obvious. The flame quickly broke Thunderbolt and went towards Magneton. Magneton dodge. Fortunately, the reaction was fast enough, otherwise it would definitely be uncomfortable to be hit by this attack. After all, Magneton's Steel type is twice restrained by the Fire type. Magneton use Thunder Wave. Houndoom dodge and use Feint Attack. When Thunder Wave hit Houndoom, Houndoom suddenly disappeared from the spot. Looking again, it was found that Houndoom suddenly appeared above Magneton and the purple-black attack hit Magneton and Magneton was knocked down. Seeking Flowers, point 0. Houndoom use Fire Fang. Magneton use Double Team. Magneton is indeed the Pokémon that Vincent has worked so hard to capture. After it tried its best to stabilize its body, it used Double Team. Houndoom only bit one of them but did not hit it. Good opportunity, use Try Attack. Do you think it's over? Houndoom use Haze. Houndoom opened his mouth and a thick smoke filled the entire venue. Magneton immediately lost sight of Houndoom. Even with the blessing of Double Team, it was almost impossible to find Houndoom in this thick fog. Magneton float up quickly. I've been waiting for you, use Dark Pulse. When Magneton finally floated up, Houndoom jumped directly into the air and a purple wave of light hit Magneton. It turned out that it didn't leave the spot at all. Ash was accurate and Vincent absolutely didn't dare to attack. It can be said that Ash's decision was really bold. Magneton lost the ability to fight, Houndoom won. In this way, Vincent only had the last Pokémon left, Meganium. It's the last battle, we must fight to the end, Vincent said while holding Meganium's Pokémon ball, Go, Geranium. Ash also took back Houndoom and prepared to send out the last Pokémon. It's decided to be you, Typhlosion. Typhlosion vs. Meganium. The battle of the Johto region's 3 major families instantly ignited the whole scene. I didn't expect Ash to have a Typhlosion. Macy was immediately fascinated because she had a Quilava. Meganium, use Razor Leaf. This time, Vincent seized the opportunity and made a preemptive attack. Typhlosion, use Flame Wandering. Although Razor Leaf's attack came quickly, it was not restrained by the attribute and the Flame Vortex quickly defeated Razor Leaf. Meganium, use Sunshine Flame. Vincent didn't dare to use Vine Whip or Body Slam against Typhlosion, who completely restrained him, so he decided the outcome with one move. Typhlosion, let it see your ultimate move. Ash clenched his right hand, Blast Burn. Typhlosion pounded the ground with his right hand, and for a moment, a frenzy of heat swept the whole venue, but the audience held back and watched the result of this match with full concentration. Boom! After the earth-shaking explosion, the smoke dissipated, Typhlosion was still standing there and Meganium fell to the ground with injuries all over his body. Meganium lost his ability to fight and Typhlosion won. The winner of this game is Ash from Pallet Town. In this way, Ash entered the final tournament with a 6-point advantage. Just as they were chatting, another person came over and this person turned out to be Professor Xiu Li. The more you walk, the more you understand. Ash scratched his head and replied embarrassedly, By the way, Professor, how is Latios's injury recovering? Yeah, I didn't have a good time that year. This time, I won't be careless again. 5.5. The reason why I updated it now is that first of all, my enlistment was cancelled, so I had to go out of town to find a job. Although the job search was relatively smooth, I was persuaded to quit after just 1 or 2 weeks. I had no choice but to find another one, and now I have entered the internship period. After a while, maybe the father and daughter also found that the atmosphere at this time was a bit wrong, so they separated and chatted with everyone. In this case, he hoped to fight him in the end so that both sides would have no regrets. Yeah. Seeing the father and daughter meet again, everyone tacitly didn't say much, and no one wanted to destroy the warm scene at this time. Congratulations, Ash, for entering the final tournament. After Ash came back, Misty and Xiaogang said to him, Ash, congratulations on entering the next round. The battle with you really benefited me a lot. Although I have been eliminated, I still have no regrets. Vincent came to Ash and said to him, While they were chatting, all the preliminaries had ended and the 16 people who finally entered the final tournament had also been successfully selected. I knew you would definitely ask this question. Leishio's injury has completely healed. Dad, Mitsumi was the most excited. Although she had a lot of fun playing with Ash's Pokémon in Professor Oak's backyard, she still missed her dad the most. It's not that he was afraid of fighting against anyone, but he was afraid that things would develop as they did before. Ash, brother! After seeing Ash coming back, Mitsumi ran towards him directly. After seeing her, Ash also stretched out his arms and caught her steadily. After Mitsumi's reminder, Ash looked at the big screen and found that it was rolling out. To be honest, he was still a little nervous. To be continued. Ash smiled slightly and said nothing, but he extended his hand to shake his hand to show his respect for this rival. For some reason, he didn't want to fight Gary so early. Maybe it was fate. Although after the Silver Conference, Gary might still go the way of Pokémon researcher. I didn't expect that we would fight here again. Ash, you have become mature and you are no longer the young boy you were before. Professor Oak looked at him, and the satisfaction in his eyes became more and more intense. In the original book, the first rival he faced was Gary. In this battle with a strong opponent he won, but in the next game he lost to Yi Yue. It was a pity that Charizard failed to defeat Blaziken in the end. This moment means that Ash's final tournament is about to begin. Of course, Mitsumi has become good friends with Leishas and Jigglypuff. As soon as the voice fell, Leishas transformed into a cannon and brought Jigglypuff to Ash. It seemed that the three of them were still getting along very harmoniously. Mitsumi, do you miss your dad? Professor Lee hugged Mitsumi in his arms. Ash looked back and saw his rival also noticed the result this time. Mitsumi, have you been very good recently? Ash touched her head and said lovingly. Brother Ash, the list of the final tournament and the match against rival have been announced. Macy also came over. Ash, you must cheer for the final tournament and work hard with us to win the championship. After Ash and his group returned to the Pokémon Center, Professor Oak, his mother and Mitsumi also came over. They had agreed that they would come to the scene to cheer for Ash after he entered the final tournament. Because the shift system is 1 day on and 1 day off, I will take advantage of the rest time to update you, and this month I will quickly enter the next chapter, which is the Hone chapter that everyone has been talking about. Haha, it's okay, but I feel that the next game is likely to be a fierce battle, Ash nodded and said with a serious face. Although his current lineup has improved a lot compared to the original, he still needs to be more careful just in case. After all, it's best not to have a sudden accident. He is determined to win the championship. I never thought that my first rival would be Richie. Ash shook his head and smiled bitterly. He never thought that his first rival would be Richie, who had a connection with him. He was very familiar with Richie. This should be Ash's first strong opponent. At the Indigo Plateau Conference, his predecessor lost to Richie in the top 16 and 24. There were many reasons for this. The first was that the Rocket Trio made trouble, so Ash almost didn't make it to the match. In the process of fighting the Rocket team, the Pokémon he was going to fight also suffered some damage, which resulted in him not being able to fully exert his full strength in the battle with Richie. The second reason was Charizard. At that time, his trainer experience was still insufficient, and Charizard was also the strongest combat power in his lineup at that time. To put it another way, anyone who had the final form of the 3 starter Pokémon in his hand would be considered relatively strong. Unfortunately, the predecessor could not fully control Charizard, resulting in Charizard's lack of fighting spirit. Facing Richie's Butterfree didn't even look at it, and then it was over. As Ash's first Alliance conference, the Indigo Plateau Conference was very important, so even after traveling through time, he still remembered it clearly. There are 16 players in the final tournament, and the number of Pokémon in the battle has increased from 3 to 6. The game begins. Sorry, this chapter is in Cheng again. Xiaogang looked at the computer data. Richie also uses Pikachu and Charizard most often. In addition, he also captured several Pokémon in Johto region. The 6 Pokémon he registered, namely Pikachu and Charizard, are the original old members, and the others were captured in Johto region. Is that so? Ash put his hand on his chin and began to think about the lineup in his mind. Charizard was Charmeleon at that time and Pikachu should be the curly-haired Zissy. In this game, Ash must show his strength to win this game. The next day in the Silver Conference venue, dear audience friends, after the cruel preliminaries today, the final tournament is about to begin. Only one of the 16 contestants can reach the top of our Silver Conference's highest podium and get the trophy. Following the direction of the host DJ's finger, everyone can see that a trophy is slowly rising in front of the podium, and the silver light emitted in the sun makes people unable to open their eyes. The first round of the game is about to begin, please get ready. But the battle you want will come at the beginning of the next chapter, please support me, I bow to you all here. Before, when he was in the preliminaries, I didn't know much because he played too many games. This is true because his understanding of Richie is still stuck in the memory of the Indigo Plateau Conference, plus he had a Pupitar when they fought together before. Ash, this should be your second battle with Richie. Do you know anything about him? Misty asked, to be continued. You can check it through the computer in the room. This not only tests the trainer's deployment and tactics but also indirectly tests his understanding of rival. After all, the Pokémon participating in the final tournament must be logged in when registering. And the venue has been decided by the roulette, which is a frozen venue. Just as the host introduced them, the two players had already arrived at the designated location. The two players in this game are Xiaoliu from Pallet Town and Richie from Fremont. It is worth mentioning that these two players once played against each other at Indigo Plateau Conference 053, and Richie narrowly defeated Ash. This game can be said to be a reunion of the old rival. Who will win this time? Let's wait and see. It's like this because the first two games are all original, so I have been racking my brains recently. I have to think about the lineup of the protagonist, the lineup of rival, and the venue and connection. It's really too difficult for me because the first round is 16-8, there can't be only one game. If there are 8 games, let's focus on Ash and Richie. The first venue drawn was the rock venue with a pool in the middle. Barn, the first battle is up to you. Richie sent out his first Pokémon, a Scyther. In that case, Ash looked at it, it's decided to be you, Yang Ma. I didn't expect that both sides sent out 2 Pokémon with completely incompatible attributes. It seems that we should be able to enjoy a unique air battle. Because both sides are flying and soaring in the sky, the battlefield must be dominated by soaring in the sky. Barn, use Spark Flash. Yang Ma dodge. In terms of speed, Yang Ma's speed is definitely not as fast as Scyther, so Yang Ma can only deal with it. Yang Ma use Sonic Boom. After a sharp turn, Yang Ma's wings vibrated at high speed, and a shock wave hit Scyther. Bane dodge and use Slash. Don't give it a chance, use Sonic Boom continuously. Then, Scyther could only dodge Yang Ma's Sonic Boom while trying to get close to it and attack with the sickles in both hands. However, Richie seemed to have forgotten one thing. Although Scyther could fly, its flying height was still much lower than Yang Ma's, so if Scyther wanted to attack, he had to attack from bottom to top, which would make it easier for Yang Ma to attack. I won't give you a chance to get close, use Supersonic. Yang Ma's wings flapped faster again and Scyther immediately fell back to the ground in pain, holding his head with his claws, showing that he could not bear it. Bon, cheer up. Yang Ma use Wing Attack. Bon, use Slash now. Scyther shook his head and then attacked Yang Ma with his sickles in both hands, but just before he hit her, Yang Ma used Double Team, and after a slash he only cut off some shadows. What? How could it be? This is Yang Ma's stress response using Swift. Because Yang Ma's ability is Compound Eyes and Swift is a sure hit, Scyther has no time to dodge. The last blow, Boom Burst. Yang Ma sent out a sound wave that was more violent than the previous Supersonic, and Scyther was immediately knocked out and lost his ability to fight. Scyther uses his fighting ability, and Yang Ma wins. If the original Yang Ma had used Boom Burst, it would not have been able to learn this move, but Ash used a skill card for it in the previous training camp, and the skill was Boom Burst. I didn't expect to lose to your Sonic attack, but I am confident in this one. Please, Ryan, the second Pokémon sent by Richie was the Pikachu. Ash took back Yang Ma when he saw this. It's decided to be you, Baling. Since being captured, this child has been training with Infernape for fighting. Now it is much calmer than before. Just standing there, it gives people a very unusual feeling. Ryan, use Nishiman Volt. Balang, hide behind the stone. Balang just rolled sideways and dodged this attack. While Pikachu was still in a daze, Balang uses Brick Break. Ryan, get out of the way. Balang's hand slashed at the spot where Pikachu was just now, creating a hole directly. Use Spark Flash. Balang, take down. Bang! The two Pokémon collided with each other and both took a few steps back. Ryan used Thunderbolt. Balang, jump up and use Mega Kick. Balang used his legs to dodge Pikachu's Thunderbolt, and then his body stayed in the air for about 3 seconds. Then he stretched out his right leg and dived down at an incredible speed, and that right leg actually generated the power of fire in the process. Come on, Fire Mega Kick. Ryan used Thunder quickly. But it was obvious that Thunder's offensive was immediately crushed by this special million-ton jump kick, followed by a sound of fissure, and Pikachu also lost its ability to fight. Pikachu lost the ability to fight and Balang won. In the third match, Richie's Golduck faced Ash's Kingler but was tricked by a Razor Shell when they were fighting. Because of these 10 hidden injuries, they were finally defeated by the Body Slam of the Crab. Since Richie lost 3 Pokémon first, they entered the halftime break. When it came to the second half, it was time for the court change. The second half was played on the grass court. Cross, go. It's up to you, Curlia. The first match of the second half was between Pupitar and Curlia. Cross, use Tackle. Dodge, use Calm Mind. It's bad in this case. Curlia will be even more unable to see Pupitar's vision. Zyoging analyzed. I know the battle in this chapter looks a bit watery, but there is nothing I can do. I have tried my best to check various materials and I have other things to do, so I can only reduce some of them. What? Richie was shocked. This move was very risky. If Curlia couldn't be dealt with within 2 or 3 rounds, his cross would definitely be hit, which would be even more dangerous. Richie gritted his teeth. Cross, use Dark Pulse. If that's the case, Curlia, use Future Sight. The rock thrown by Pupitar only hit Curlia's clone and did not cause any substantial damage. Cross, use Rock Slide. The two attacks collided instantly, and the smoke produced by the explosion directly blocked the vision of both sides. The two attacks collided with each other again, and this time it was exactly 2 rounds. Curlia Cybem. After Richie took back Pupitar, I didn't expect to be defeated by your magical leaf in the end. Did you know that I would use Cross and didn't send out a Grass type one? The focus of the battle is still on Yue and Gary. Don't mind it, everyone. No choice. Curlia, use Cybem. Curlia moved her body slightly to avoid Pupitar's attack, then put her hands on her chest and entered the Calm Mind contest condition. After all, it's the predecessor of a quasi-god, so I dare not be careless. Cross, use Sandstorm. After 2 attacks, Pupitar could no longer hold on. In this way, Ash defeated Richie, completed the Revenge of Indigo Plateau Conference, and entered the next round of competition. Pupitar jumped up and moved towards the ground. Curlia's body shook and she had to release the Calm Mind contest condition. Double team, avoid it. Don't give it a chance, use Earthquake. With the fall of Richie's Charizard, the final result of this focus battle has been settled. Ash successfully avenged Richie and entered the next quarterfinals, and Richie's Silver Conference journey also ended here. Ash, I haven't seen you for such a long time. You have become stronger than before. After the end, Richie found Ash and said, "You are not bad either. You almost won several times. You are also getting stronger, Richie. You should work hard in the next game. I believe you will win the championship." After saying that, Richie stretched out his fist. After seeing this, Ash smiled and stretched out his fist to meet his. "I will definitely do it." Ash didn't pay much attention to the subsequent matches, or rather, he only paid attention to the matches between Gary, Yue, and John, and these 3 people also defeated their own rivals and entered the quarterfinals. Ash was not surprised at all. If one of them lost, it would mean that Ash had made a mistake. However, in the next quarterfinal contest category, Ash's rival was neither Gary nor Yue but John. Is the butterfly effect so strong? It seems that it is destined to compete with the 397 rivals for the top 3. As for why it is the top 3, because, although he doesn't know much about John with the lineup in his hands, he is still sure to defeat the society. In the original work, he was purely lucky. In the semi-finals, he met Yi Yue, who did not have Blaziken in his lineup, and Yi Yue's lineup was basically centered on Blaziken. Once Blaziken fell, the lineup was weakened by half, so Yi Yue stopped in the semi-finals. And in the championship and runner-up match, his Rapidash was able to defeat Rhydon is a bit unbelievable, because according to the attributes, Rhydon is completely restrained by Rapidash, but even so, he won. It is really a bit hard to understand. Finally, John became the champion of Silver Conference. Of course, this championship can be said to be the most watery one in all generations. Don't ask why, the gold content is far less than that of the conference champions of other generations. Unova's conference champion is included in it. The above is all Ash knows about John, and now, he has also thought about the lineup for this time. Dear audience friends, today we will bring you the quarterfinals. This game will bring you the match between Ash from Pallet Town and John from Sakura Town. In the last game, Ash defeated his former rival Richie. I wonder if Ash can maintain the momentum of the last game and enter the final four in one fell swoop. The game begins, the referee said with a flag. The first one I sent is it, go Ursaring. The first Pokémon John sent out was Ursaring. In that case, it's you, Rhydon. Ash sent out Rhydon to fight. The two Pokémon started fighting hand-to-hand and their momentum was constantly rising. Ursaring used Fury Attack. Rhydon used Arm Punch. Bang! Boom! After several exchanges, Ash's Rhydon had the upper hand. Don't forget that since Bangira joined the team, Rhydon has fought against this quasi-god boss a lot. Although most of them were contest conditions where he was abused, he has also become stronger in these many battles. Just like this time when facing Ursaring, he was able to block the opponent's attack with just his arms when facing the opponent's claws. It's decided to be you, Noctowl. However, in the second half of the game, he was defeated by John's Rhydon. In this battle, Muck used his body to absorb all the toxic spikes on the field, and Muck himself was thick-skinned, so he successfully defeated Shuckle. Elekid used Thunderbolt. Elekid used Shock Wave to the maximum extent. The two attacks collided with each other, raising a puff of smoke. Before the smoke dissipated, Ash ordered, use Air Slash. Ursaring used the Destruction Ray. In the power duel, Ash's Rhydon defeated Nidoking and Rhydon in succession, but after the opponent sent Rapidash, Ash did not change to a new Pokémon but continued to send Rhydon. The second battle was between Nidoking and Tauros. Although Ash's Tauros was the strongest among the 30, it was still inferior to Nidoking in size and was defeated. After the game, Ash received another good news. That is, Scizor, who was training at Ninja Academy, has successfully returned. Oh no, this time Ash has fallen into the rhythm of rival, Xiaoging said worriedly. Rhydon, Dynamic Punch. Noctowl Extrasensory. Elekid was hit by surprise. Tread on the waves to avoid it, then use the Body Slam. Ursaring lost his ability to fight and Rhydon won. Go ahead, Shuckle. Another thing to note is that Nidoking also used Toxic Spikes during the battle, which would have an impact on subsequent Pokémon, so Ash could only send out flying Pokémon. Another blow was exchanged. Ursaring was beaten back 3 steps in a row, but Rhydon did not move at all. Today, Tiga is back on the shelves and I feel like the light has returned instantly. Finally, after this move Brave Bird, both Pokémon lose their ability to fight at the same time. Rhydon stepped on his feet and a huge wave came towards Ursaring. Even though the Destruction Ray barely blocked the wave, Rhydon's body fell from the sky after the wave. Ursaring, who was in a stiff contest condition, had no time to dodge and was overwhelmed. Ursaring used Metal Claw. I originally thought of updating the day before yesterday, but because of the removal of Tiga, contest conditions are not good, so I will postpone the update. Hold on, use Brave Bird. As for the result, there is no need to say more. Rhydon defeated Rapidash and Ash successfully advanced to the semifinals. If possible, I will update more. In this way, Ash's team has added another general. Noctowl, use Hurricane. Noctowl flapped its wings vigorously and a strong wind was directly stirred up on the field, forcing Elekid to stretch out his hands to block it. Elekid's whole body radiated a strong spark and Noctowl was also hit. Ash, Scizor has returned to the team. Are you going to send it? Misty asked after seeing Ash had returned. Ash nodded. Of course, it's a good opportunity to test how much it has learned. Ash, your rival in the semifinals is Yue. Are you sure you can beat him? Just after the game, Ash went directly to the Pokémon Center after receiving the news, so he didn't pay attention to the battle. The list of the top 4 has also been released, namely Ash, Yue, Gary, and an unknown trainer. The contest category has also been released, Ash vs Yue, Gary vs the unknown trainer. Thinking of Yue's rival, Ash's originally calm heart became a little agitated, not for anything else, just because this rival can be said to be one of the important rivals before the 4th generation. He had watched the battle in his previous life more than a few times. After reviewing it, he felt that in terms of strength, the two people were equally strong. However, in order to promote the 3rd generation, Ash's trump card at that time, Charizard, had to be written as the loser. But what happened afterwards also proved the importance of Blaziken. Without Blaziken, Yue could not beat John no matter how good he was at commanding. He stopped in the semifinals and disappeared from everyone's sight. But this time he would not let regrets happen again. In the finals, he locked on. Pikachu, Pikachu! Just as Ash was thinking, Pikachu pulled his trouser legs and said to it, Pikachu, do you want to go up too? Ash touched its head. Pikachu. Don't worry, you'll be the first in the next game. BA8. No words were spoken that night. As the sun gradually rose, the Silver Conferences Stadium was packed. Dear audience friends, let me hear your enthusiasm. Where are your cheers? Hey. While the audience is getting more and more enthusiastic. After all, it's the semifinals now and the Silver Conference champion is getting closer and closer. The next battle will definitely be exciting. Both sides have to fight with all their strength to decide the finalists. Then without further ado, let's invite 2 trainers to come on stage. The first one to come on stage is Yue, a Pokémon trainer who came from Fengyuan region and traveled to Johto region. After Yue came on stage, the host introduced again. The next one to come on stage is Ash, a player from Pallet Town, a top 16 player of Indigo Plateau Conference who performed strongly in Silver Conference. Both players, please take your positions, the game will start soon. Ash looked at Yue and said in his heart, this time there will be no regrets. At this time the battle venue has also been selected, which is the grass field. The game begins. It's decided to be you, Pikachu. According to the agreement between them, Pikachu will lead the first battle. Pikachu did not appear in the previous 2 games. As the god of Pikachu, it can't sit still. Ash, I have been looking forward to the battle with you for a long time. Go, Kecleon! As expected, just like the original, the invisible Kecleon was sent in the first battle, which is very advantageous in this field. Then let me see the power of Fengyuan. Ash smiled slightly. Pikachu, quick attack. Pikachu is very fast and will be in front of Kecleon in the blink of an eye. Kecleon, quick consumption. With Yue's order, Kecleon disappeared directly on the spot. Don't hesitate, just rush over. Ash's words rang in Pikachu's ears and Pikachu didn't hesitate and directly knocked Kecleon in the original direction. Kecleon, are you okay? After Kecleon stood up again, he jumped into the bushes and started running. Is Kecleon so fast? No, this is to hide the pattern on his body and cultivate speed. Professor Oak saw his intention. Pikachu Iron Tail hits the ground. Pikachu! The tail flashing with metallic light hit the ground and suddenly saw that the bushes in one direction were shaking differently from the others. Right there, use Electro Ball. This Electro Ball just hit Kecleon and Kecleon was knocked unconscious. At this time, Pikachu had fought with Zapdos and Raikou. Even if Pikachu only used Kaori's strength in the Electro Ball just now, it was still very harmful to Kecleon. Kecleon lost his ability to fight, and Pikachu won. You did a good job, Kecleon. Take a good rest. After Yue took back Kecleon, he sent out the second Pokémon Go, Sneasel. Ash had no intention of changing Pokémon. Pikachu, agility. Pikachu began to run quickly, obviously much faster than Kecleon just now. Sneasel, Alloy Claws hit the ground. Unexpectedly, Ash's tactics in the last game were copied by Yue so quickly, but is this trick really useful for Ash? Jump up! At the moment when Sneasel's claws hit the ground, Pikachu used all 4 legs to jump into the air, looking down at Sneasel, and Sneasel was also stunned. Sneasel Feint Attack, Pikachu Quick Attack plus Iron Tail. Although Sneasel took the initiative to attack, Pikachu's attack speed was faster. With a bang, Pikachu fell back to the ground safely. Sneasel was knocked down. Sneasel lost his ability to fight and Pikachu won. Too strong, Ash's Pikachu defeated Yue's two Pokémon as soon as it appeared. The situation is very unfavorable to Yue. Next, how should he turn the situation around? This Pikachu is too strong. Yue couldn't help but think after taking back Sneasel, but the current situation did not give him time to think more. Go Sulipa. Come back first, Pikachu. After seeing him send out Sulipa, Ash called Pikachu back. Pikachu, there are still other partners who haven't played yet, let's give them some opportunities. Pikachu nodded, then let's have a duel of the same attribute, go ahead Alakazam. Ash sent out his second Pokémon Alakazam. Ash's player sent out Alakazam, is this going to be a psychic duel? Host shouted. Salipa use Hypnosis. Alakazam use Protect. A green barrier was erected in front of Alakazam, successfully blocking Hypnosis of Salipa. Alakazam, Psycho Twist. Alakazam's two spoons crossed and a powerful confusion hit Salipa. Salipa, let's use Psycho Twist too. The two powerful confusions collided with each other, but Alakazam's Psycho Twist was better, and Salipa was pushed back several steps. Now Psycho Cut. A sharp blade slashed at the body of the Salipa and the Salipa lost its ability to fight. Salipa lost its ability to fight, Alakazam won. Because Yue had 3 Pokémon that could not fight, the halftime break began and the second half began in 5 minutes. Go Steelix. It's decided to be you Murkrow. At the beginning of the second half, Yue sent out the ground and steel-type Steelix, which seemed to be trying to show momentum, and this was indeed the case. Steelix defeated Ash's Murkrow with a set of Sandstorm plus Dig Hole plus Iron Tail. After Ash took back Murkrow, there was no big fluctuation, it's decided to be you, Feraligatr. Feraligatr faced Steelix. This was the second time that Feraligatr faced Steelix after the Asagi gym. Facing this imposing Feraligatr, Yue was not afraid at all. Steelix bind attack. Steelix took the initiative and tied Feraligatr with his body. Ash also ordered Feraligatr's superpower to break free. Don't give it a chance, use Crunch. I've been waiting for you, Feraligatr Dynamic Punch. Although superpower was not fully used, Steelix was very uncomfortable with this punch. Okay, superpower to break free and use Freezing Punch. This time, Feraligatr tried his best to break free, then strode forward and defeated Steelix with a Freezing Punch. Steelix lost his ability to fight, and Feraligatr won. Well done, Feraligatr, you have made great progress, Ash praised. Roar. Ash, you are really powerful, but I will definitely fight you to the end, go Houndoom. Yue's 5th Pokémon is Houndoom, which is already at a disadvantage in terms of attribute. Feraligatr, use Water Pulse. Feraligatr opened his mouth and fired a very powerful Water Pulse at Houndoom. If it hits, it will probably be defeated in one shot. Houndoom, use Counter. Because of this move, the Water Pulse bounced off Houndoom and hit Feraligatr directly. And the power is twice as strong as before. No matter how strong Feraligatr is, he can't withstand this attack. Feraligatr loses the ability to fight and Houndoom wins. At this time, Yue only has this Houndoom and Blaziken who has not appeared, and Ash has only fallen 2 Pokémon so far. The balance of victory has gradually tilted towards Ash. Ash, I never thought that I could fight you with tricks and cleverness. It is my honor to fight you. Then don't leave any regrets. After Ash took back Feraligatr, he surrounded a Pokémon ball. It's decided to be you, Meganium. No way, why did Ash send out Meganium whose attributes were not dominant? Misty Zyoging was stunned, because Ash now would never make such a low-level mistake. You are still very brave using Meganium whose attributes were not dominant to fight me. In this case, Yue said, Houndoom Flamethrower. Meganium used Vine Whip to jump up. McGirl, Meganium stretched out 2 Vine Whips and jumped into the air with the power of Vine Whip hitting the ground. This scene looks familiar, use Petal Blizzard. Meganium swung hard and snow-like falling petals appeared everywhere on Houndoom, hitting Houndoom together. Houndoom. Now Energy Ball. An Energy Ball hit Houndoom, and Houndoom fell to the ground and couldn't stand up. Houndoom lost his ability to fight, and Meganium won. Ash, you are really amazing. Then I will go all out in the final battle. Yue was still full of fighting spirit at this time. Please, Blaziken. After seeing Blaziken, Ash decisively took back the Meganium. Your Blaziken's rival is him, so it's you, Charizard. Blaziken vs. Charizard, the ultimate showdown of the three fire-type starters in the 2-day region. Use Flamethrower. The two flamethrowers collided with each other and an explosion formed in the middle of the field. Blaziken, rush over and use Fire Punch. Dragon Claw blocks it. Blaziken's fist was blocked by Charizard's claws, and then Charizard used both arms to directly turn defense into offense and hit Blaziken with one claw, but Blaziken dodged it. Blaziken Flame Vortex. Charizard fly up and use Dragon Rage. Charizard spread his wings and flew towards soaring in the sky, avoiding the vortex of fire, and then opened his mouth to use Dragon Rage, which was dodged by Blaziken. Now Blaziken's jump height is almost parallel to Charizard. Blaziken use Quick Attack 11. Charizard use Iron Tail. Bang! Blaziken's Quick Attack hit Charizard's tail. Right now let him use Seismic Toss. Charizard was not slow to act and immediately caught Blaziken and began to use Seismic Toss. After a few circles in soaring in the sky, Charizard dived directly to the ground. Blaziken. Charizard, use Flare Blitz. Ash knew that Blaziken would definitely use Flamethrower to slow down at this moment, so he had to seize this opportunity to completely defeat Blaziken. Charizard's descent speed suddenly increased, and when Blaziken just opened his mouth to use Flamethrower, he was not far from the ground. Boom! After a deafening sound, Charizard was standing while Blaziken had already fallen to the ground. Just as the referee was about to announce the final result, Blaziken suddenly stood up tremblingly and Charizard immediately prepared to fight. But in the end, Blaziken still couldn't hold on and fell down. Blaziken loses his ability to fight, Charizard wins.
Hello, everyone! As we wrap up this video, I want to share a quick note. I have a Patreon account. If you'd like to support me and enjoy on-demand audiobooks, you can become a Patreon member. Alternatively, you can check out my Google Drive link, which has 500-plus novel audiobooks available through my Ko-fi or Patreon shop. I appreciate your support.